Anybody take any trades? Like I said, I didn't really take anything.
Yeah, I've been doing a few shorts here and there. Been pretty good in a couple accounts.
Nice.
But I walked away for a minute and missed that giant candle.
Fun.
Went to the
Yeah.
bathroom. That happens all the time.
Well, and like I said, I even called that it was gonna happen, and I still didn't take it, right? Because not I don't trade fearful. Like I don't worry about what might happen like that.
Yeah.
But I have a strict rule. I don't trade after 9, so
Mm,
until 9:30 because I I a lot of times I'll take potentially defensive plays, and I just don't have enough time, right, to get out if I'm wrong, and so and
right.
I don't want to let it go into open. But if you look at the reason this collapsed, kind of what we were talking about, right? We had that trap call that played out well. We came back up, hit that, which was another good short off that trap call. Then we had another trap call, right? That broke us. But from a structure standpoint, we broke a structure north, came back for a retest, came up to try to break a higher high, couldn't do it. Came back down, and then notice right in this area here, we started respecting these highs again, right? And so that's weakness, and that usually drops it. Plus, it's pre-market, right? So,
Yeah.
but almost a perfect bounce off of our Asia low, or Asia high, sorry. So let's see where that goes. Morning, those are joining on TikTok. Joining a little early. I don't know when you asked that, Michael, but your mic was working. It was just a little quiet at times, but I could hear.
All right, cool. I just didn't want you to think I was ignoring you.
No, no, no. I heard you through a few of them. We were just in a multitude of discussions today. Is what we'll call it. Oh man, my throat after drinking water. My throat's actually been a little bit better lately too. But not when you breathe water apparently.
You're not supposed to inhale it now.
Look, I didn't see the warning label. All right, getting
I
those
did
deep.
that a couple days ago, and I thought I was going to die. I was
Oh man.
coughing up tea for like 30 minutes. And I was like, what
Oh
in the
yeah,
world?
it's so bad. All right, 9:13. Still got a few minutes here, guys. Uh, Neo. Anybody get a chance to play with them a little extra yesterday? You guys notice any differences, thoughts, feedback, anything?
Nick, I tried it with Tesla yesterday, which was really great.
Nice. So one of the I'd love to know, and with Tesla on that too. Uh, the biggest key thing that we did is, and we're kind of walking a fine line with it. So we're I need to see if I need to go further or if we're good. But uh, I wasn't a big fan of the fact that he would just say no, right? Like don't trade, don't trade, don't trade. Um, but it's hard, right? Because a lot of times when he says don't trade, it's really not a great place to trade. So it's not that he's wrong, right? But I know a lot of people are looking for actual guidance, like each time that they talk to him, right? As far as entries, potentials. And so we did a little modifying on his core code that allows him to, or kind of forces him really, to not really ever say no without follow up of you need to see this, right? So it should be like I'm looking to go long right now, and he'll be like, well, we're below all this stuff. It's not a great place to go long. To go long, you would want to wait for blah blah blah, right? Did you notice that from him when you were doing it?
Yeah, no, it is. I definitely agree with you. It's great for it to make suggestions rather than like orders. Absolutely. I mean, I know you have a management background. It's the same.
Yeah.
You know, if it's, yeah, it was making suggestions. I was basically just seeing, I was trying it for the first time to see if it would give like, and it did support and resistance levels and watch out for this, etc. And that was great. But I can't get it to work today. Is it only during New York market open hours
Yeah.
or is it more so?
So keep in mind we're gonna have multiple Neo analysis ways, right? But Neo and TradeVision is a trader, so he's not going to look at he's basically looking at the real time data and making a decision, right? And so if the data is frozen, right, because there's not anything, there's no feed or change, he's not going to really make a. We don't want him to make an assessment on it when it's not really moving right now. I know people want to know a lot, even when the markets are closed. Like, what do we think about Tesla? What do we think about this? Like, where do you think this is going to go? Right? Like, people want to kind of prepare, and so that might be something that we will add when we build the watch list one, where it will, because right now he stores the data, but if the market's closed, he's not told to go fetch it to give an analysis on it while it's closed, right? Um, but he has the data. So when the market opens and you ask him about it and he's got that ticker feed, right, then he'll give you it. But if it's closed, yeah, he won't right now. So, but we'll probably add that to the watch list side of it, I think, where you can do that. It's just a different way we do them.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, bum, 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 bum. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, guys. We got 9:18. I was just kind of giving people a little bit to come in. Are we worried about the jolts? I'm always, yeah. Jolts is one that can do nothing or absolutely. Maybe it's the PTSD in me, but it was a while back too. I mean, like what, probably 2 years ago, but year and a half now. But I watched jolts move us like freaking $1,000 out of nothing, right? Like just out of nowhere. And so, but then I've also watched many drops of jolts where it does nothing. So, but you should always worry about it because it definitely can sway the markets pretty heavily. So, for those just joining, we did a lot of training in the pre-market. Some took trades. I didn't take a trade. I took some trades last night and did pretty well, so I wasn't really rushing to take a trade. We did more analysis, just kind of looking at it, and just to kind of touch on a few things for you guys. This is kind of where we're at, guys, in the market. So we are in a historical climb. So we've continuously pushed. As many of you in here know, because when I was here doing it, when we saw this structure down here, I was calling that we're going to get a blow off top, which is really cool to see because I had a lot of people tell me I was crazy. And so, but in all fairness, I have no intention of taking the credit for these extensions because when we were looking at the blow off top, kind of a quick little peek I did play was to take that kind of measured move from the low to the high and then stack that on the high, right, which I expected us to get maybe up here somewhere, right? I think it was like right here, like 29.9. Like I was expecting that 30K. This whole like 30,500, 700, like way more than even I thought it would go to, right? So, but we also have a lot of factors that are going on, between the IPO coming out for SpaceX and some other things, right? The AI stuff, and the markets are just pushing, right? It's not going to push forever. When we broke this trend here, it looked like this was the top, which would have been really cool because it damn near means that I would have called it almost perfectly. And it looked like it was going to drop because we broke that trend line, and then it's just been doing that market maker slide, right? I talk about all the time on the lower time frames. But we're also creating a channel within, right? So we're kind of riding that original trend line below it. And then now with this push on this time frame, it looks like this went off a little bit, but on this last push that we have here, if you line that up with these lows, right, it's damn near parallel to this. So at some point this is going to break, right? Now this break here, you know, can come pretty good down. At some point we'll likely try to come down and retest this top again. If it breaches that top right here, that's 29.7, that's going to be where we'll get a really, really bad descent likely. So as far as where we're going today, we got to see where market open lands, right? We got to see where the jolts comes out. Each time we show bearish tendencies, right, we just explode through them. And so at the end of the day, we're still trending north. We're still channeling north until we break this area here. So we'll have to see. If I see market open, right, so let's look at some basics here. You have the doji, you got the high, you got the low, right? If we get the close below the low, typically we're going to drop. If we get the close above the high, we're gonna pump. I'm going to probably use this 595 as a big resistance level for me, and so we'll mark it yellow since it's not really the all-time high anymore. And then I'm going to mark, I guess I don't know that I need to mark it actually now. Let me see. Because I think I have the all-time high on my flow trader anyways. So we'll just leave it. So anything that stays below this 595 as it comes into it and rejects, I'll likely be short. Anything that breaks above 595, you're going to want to be long. So or just stay out of it, right? If you don't like chasing all-time highs. But me personally, I, just like many people, because I see it all over TikTok and other social medias, is that I would prefer that we come back a little, get down into these ranges, and then we have some structure, some prior historical data to look at. I'm just not usually a huge fan of being really aggressive when we're up here into areas consistently with strength that have really no top in sight, right? We don't know where, because at some point, we don't really know exactly where, but at some point you're going to see something like this, and then it's going to be one like fall off cliff kind of day, right? It's when the hedge funds, you know, kick in, or whether the news, right, kicks in to do it, it's going to I mean, it's not an if, it's just it's a win, right? And so trying to time that is what's hard. So we'll have to see how market open plays out, guys. I think this 535 area, I still have it white. I'm going to play a decent role because you still have that prior area of support. Plus, it was a pretty significant resistance, right? It's where we shot up $200 damn near directly and then lost it, you know, like almost $250 within no time, right? And so it's going to be a pretty big level, that 535. So we were just talking about it this morning, and it's going to be so funny to watch it if it plays out, but they keep baiting the crap out of these rounded tops. And think about this. If you got in early, right, it's a pretty good sweep little play, right? If you waited for that low and you entered here, chasing the liquidity down here, they keep doing this, where it comes down, taps these prior highs, and then shoots. It's almost kind of like the one, like you guys in the mentor group, right, that we've showed up a million times, right, where you get the rounded top, but it holds at these prior highs here, and then it creates an inverse, and then parabolic says north, right? And so we keep seeing this over and over and over, and I promise you there's a lot of people that keep getting wrecked on that structure because it's so clean. It's such a clean bearish structure, right? So we'll see what market open does. So like I said, anything that jumps on market open that holds on these highs, you're going to want to take pullback longs. You got to be aware of our top here. I'm just gonna put a line. We'll just put one like that. I'm not gonna make it. It's an all-time high thought. So let's look and see. So 91, 25, 92. Looks like 92 is the. That's pretty close. So we'll make it correct there. Okay. So yeah, we'll have to see how market open plays this. So on that, until we see the pressure in the beginning, right, with the swing highs, swing lows, we don't really want to assume right where it's going to go. So guys joining on TikTok, we have, for the first time, we have Neo, our AI here. He is going to help guide us as we decide to ask questions. So for those just joining in for the first time, I do a lot of micro scalping. So usually we're in and out pretty quick for the most part with setting tight TP areas. So the way I teach people how to read structure and candle progression. So whether you choose to micro scalp or take longer plays is up to you or your skill set, right? But we're usually in and out, right? Less exposure into the market. Get in, make your money, get out, right? So let's see where we go, guys. We got 3 minutes. Also, we have the jolts for those that just joined coming up. And so we want to be mindful as we're taking our scalps into that 10 o'clock because everything can change. So let's ask Neo. I'm going to leave him on advance just so we can get the straight answers for a little bit. But hey, Neo, as we approach market open, we're going to trade the market open volatility. So I'm going to ask some TA questions as we go along. But how are we looking before market open?
MNQ is currently testing the 30,548.75 to 30,556.00 resistance zone with clear buy-side volume pressure of 60.47%. Price is holding above the anchored VWAP at 30,465.00 and the 1-minute EMA 200, signaling intraday strength despite the immediate 5 minutes bearish trend. The structure is compressed between the current resistance and the 5 minutes Lisma at 30,558.50, suggesting a decisive move is likely at the open. I am watching for a clean breakout and hold above 30,556.00 for upside expansion, or a failure to sustain this level leading to a liquidity sweep back toward the 30,500 area. Are you looking for quick scalps or longer structure plays today?
Mostly I do quick scalps in the market open volatility, just because the directions change like crazy. But so I'm going to look mostly for quick scalps, probably somewhere between like 15 and 30 point moves, if you can look for those when we ask.
Understood. I will prioritize quick scalp setups with 15 to 30 point targets for you. Price is currently pressing the 30,548.75 to 30,556.00 resistance zone with strong 69% buy-side volume, making a push to clear this area the main focus. Wait for a breakout and hold above 30,556.00 to validate a scalp long toward the next liquidity. If price rejects this zone and falls back below 30,535.00, a short scalp toward 30,500.00 becomes the cleaner play.
All right, ding, ding, ding. There's the pull. Let's see where this lands. So definitely getting the bearish pressure as we expected. So keep in mind, guys, let it take a couple minutes to decide, right? Because we want to watch those first at least couple minutes of the candle to see if it's going to find any bounce. So the 5 minute, you can see we have a trap box here. The low is 487, the high is 559, right? So this is saying we're going south, this is saying we're going north. So now we got a little indecision, which is not shocking because it's market open, right? So let's see we can capitalize on any of this if we get any kind of retracement. Now the last couple of days, remember we've been kind of more bearish, right, where we're just dropping. So let's see if we get any kind of bullish push, or do we continuously get that bearish pressure. So some of the key areas to watch for is going to be down in this area here. 448 is going to be a pretty good support. So if we come in and smack that, there's a chance we could definitely jump. If we break through that 448, there's really not a lot stopping it to like 380, 360, right? So we'll watch that on the one. We are getting a trap south on there. Let's watch this. So from this side, right, we have our EU low at 467, London low now 481. Pretty open air if we can get again below that 448. So, and you can ask Neo these things, right? Hey Neo, as far as how the market looks right now, what would you suggest as far as a market bias directional? Because I just want to take one direction.
The market is currently showing strong sell pressure with a 17.93% buy fraction in price trading below the 1-minute EMA 200, signaling a clear bearish bias. Given the structure is sitting inside a 5 minutes bearish order block, I would lean toward the short side for a scalp. Wait for a clean break and hold below the 30,487.75 ORB low to confirm the move for a scalp toward the 30,460 area.
He wants it below
Keep
here.
size reduced and targets tight, as Jolt's job openings are approaching in about 28 minutes and could trigger sudden volatility.
There we go. So I took a couple of little short TP scalps just from here. We had an inverted hammer on there, right? We got that kind of closed and that little expansion. Now I'm waiting. I want to see, are we going to break that that low? So what he had mentioned is 487 is what he's watching. So if we get that close below there, that would give that expansion, right? Now we do know on the 1 minute we have a support liquidity within here, right? So just kind of keep them tight TPs as you take them. And then if all of you guys can kind of keep an eye on the time as well, so we don't get too focused on the trades and then you know, lose focus on the time. So because I would say if we want to get a couple quick scalps from within, right, let's do that. And then right around like 9:45, 9:50, I would try to get out of everything, right? And we'll wait for jolts. So we are getting a pullback, guys. A lot of support within this range here. If we break that 440, we're gonna drop pretty hard. So we're getting that pull. So he mentioned 487. We know this is that low. Here's the sweep. The close below there should give us some expansion that way, right? So let's see. So we're coming into our purple block of support here. Let's see how this acts. If we get any kind of bounce, or do we breach through it? Now, how the micro is going to act, right, it matters. This is the 15-second for those that are new to watching. Here's our area lows, right? As we got our expansion, if we continue to reject on these lows and we get a close below here, it's going to give deeper expansion. If we reclaim these lows, right, the 500 area, if it comes up and reclaims that, then we're going to get likely a pretty good push north from it, right? That's going to tell us kind of the direction and how it's looking. So definitely a lot of support within. Now from a structure standpoint, let me mute this real quick. Again, this is a bearish structure, and so we should be more short than long. Right about 433 is, you want to be careful because we could definitely get a bounce from there. But just kind of keep, if you're in here scalping the directional, right, you want to wait, see how it respects these prior areas, and then on those dojis, right, you're taking your kind of quick plays. And then we'll look and see. Let me open it up here. Yeah, so we're coming into the low of this block is 458, right? Pretty much right where we're at. So anywhere from here to 448 runs a big risk of jumping, so be careful, guys. It's a moment of truth kind of area for me. So, because either if we jump here, we know we have strength, right? And we're going to either oscillate or it was a push south, to push north, which is done, right? Like, I mean, so many times we've done this in trading where it'll market open, push south, and then we reclaim a few areas, and then we just go to the moon, right? So if it's going to do that, it's going to do it off this level here. So if we breach that level, it's just going down. So see how we're getting a little push off it. If I'm prioritizing my shorts, what would be my next potential opportunity? As far as my trading style, I'm not a huge fan of taking the breakouts on continuations. If I were to want to see it pull back, what would be an area I would want to see it pull back to before I would look to go short again? Or where would it break before I'd go short again? Let's see what he says.
Since you prefer pullbacks, wait for price to bounce and reject the 30,485.00 to 30,500.00 area, which aligns with recent support turned potential resistance in the
which we
5
just
minutes
did,
EM 200. Alternatively, look for a clean break and hold below the 30,453.75 US session low to confirm the continuation move. Avoid chasing the current support at 30,462.75, as price is showing oversold conditions and may look for a relief bounce before trending lower. Stay cautious with your stop placement as we approach the 10 a.m. JOLTS release.
See how it's holding that 50 area that we were talking about? It's trying to actually invalidate it already. See that on the one? So this is going to be a big play, right? So if this pushes up absorption to the south, we're going to get deep expansion. If this pulls back that halfway, which it kind of did there, and we get expansion up and we close above here, then it's going to jump really hard. Anything short of that, right, we're just waiting for the next leg down. So, but that 448 is going to be a really big level to watch, guys. Let's watch. It's definitely trying to hold, see that level there? We're trying. Now we're creating a little bit of consolidating range in the micro, right? So we have a high, we have a low. Close below the low, we drop. Close above the high, we pump. So let's wait. So 5 minute is bearish, obviously, because we have a flat top all the way up here and we have a deep draw, but we know it's market open. So 448 is our number. If we can break through this, guys, it's going to be a phenomenal play down to these lower liquidity areas. Does it look like this area is finding enough support to possibly reverse?
Price is currently testing the 30,462.75 to 30,464.25 support zone and showing early signs of a bounce, but volume remains dominated by sell pressure. For a valid reversal, I need to see price reclaim the 30470, 30475 area and hold that level as support. Without that, this is just a minor consolidation before potentially testing lower.
Yeah, see, so he's the beauty is as we continue to refine him, right? I love he's giving guidance similar to what he should, right? And kind of what I'm saying. So we're on the same page, right? Which is good. And see that expansion we're getting to the south on it. So now this couple of candles here are huge because again, this makes our low. Anything that stays below that, or really even this high, right, is going to have another expansion to the south. However, we've watched this 1,000 times where you'll get your consolidation, they sweep the low, reclaim the low, break the high, and then we get crazy expansion, right? And so we want to see, is it going to do that again? So now that it had this pull, I want to see this respect these lows. If we get a close below there, we know we have full expansion and it's going to come down hard. See where this closes. So we close right below, but look at the pressure pulling. So I need to see this push, absorb back south, and then get that close. That's going to still show me that they're still dominating, right? We can also, we have enough structure now from the open that we can take our high and just kind of build that little trend line. See how we're built? Look at it. Watch this trap block. This is going to be crazy if this thing just does what we said, right? The consolidation, the sweep of the low, reclaim of the high, and then jump. Those trap blocks are crazy. But I'm still watching. We have the POC here. We did get a bullish candle on the one. A close above here, which would be 30,080. Right, would give us our pressure north. Macro now is still supporting south. There's a lot of liquidity down in here, guys, 360 or so. But let's see, it's not unorthodox for it to drop, reclaim up to about here, right, which would be that halfway. And then how that acts is going to be what determines what we do. Isn't that crazy though? Look at the trap thing called. It called it even before the trend line break, and then it's go. I'll tell you, this indicator is insane. It's so insane. So we got Lisma at 497. Again, we got that consolidation. We broke the low, reclaimed that low, and now we're breaking the high. We break this a high, it typically gives the expansion, right? And so let's watch and see. Watch the DOM pressure as well. I mean, we're still in market open, right? So anything can change on a whim here, but see how we're getting those pulls with the little minor DOM jumps? Now, mind you, it's still, see how it's within these highs here? This wick here? That's what's fighting it right now. So where this pulls back is huge, because if we keep tapping above here, tap, tap, and then it's going to jump. If we come down to here, that's a halfway 50% retracement. As long as we maintain these lows, right, it has a chance of jumping again. If we lose those lows, right, then we have a sweep, you know, and then likely it might go down pretty hard after that point, but it's kind of anyone's guess at that point. So, but we are getting that. This trap indicator played out phenomenal. So you can see it was testing, he was talking about it was testing that 462 to 464 support zone, and it is showing early signs of a bounce, but the volume remains dominated. And so even he was telling you, hey, this is a support zone. At the time that I asked him, it didn't have enough buy pressure. But if you couple the trap call that we had here, mixed with him calling it as a support zone, right, and showing early signs, right, of a bounce, couple that in, right? Did anybody take this from the trap? I know we were mostly talking short, but I'm just curious. I know some of y'all are taking these traps. Daniel did? Nice.
I didn't catch it fast enough. You're talking about on the 15-second?
Yeah, so
I got some of that.
Good job, man. Yeah,
I'm done for the day too, so actually.
that's awesome. Hey, I love it, man. 9:45. Shit, you're done before the news. Don't touch it. That's great. We have no news, guys, again in 15 minutes. So if you're gonna take any kind of like scalps through this, Joel, be careful. So, as far as the way that this progression works, again, guys, this is a normal move that's been happening like a million times. It baits the shorts, consolidates, baits the breakout, reclaims the low, reclaims the high, and then expands. It's done it. I don't even know how many times. what would you say, Bobby? Since you're not on mute, probably what 100 times, 1,000, 50,000. I don't know. I feel like it's done it so many times.
Yeah. And every time I think it's going to just do something different, it just keeps on doing it.
Yeah, well, and it's the same structure on the micro, right? And if you look at it, it does that kind of and it's similar to, like, let me show you guys. Let me show you something while we're waiting, because you guys really should not be in a trade right now because we have news coming in like 12 minutes, 13 minutes, 14 minutes, something like that. Let me show you something while we wait. I gotta figure out what is going on with my computer. It's so weird. I could be on 3, 4 cameras, but then things just, like, sometimes, like, images and things are just taking slower to load. I would think it's my video card, but shoot, I'm on all these cameras. But so this is the ICT course. Do you notice? I'm gonna zoom this in for you guys. There you go. Look familiar? Chop kind of comes up a little bit, right? Raises that liquidity down, hits all those stop losses, and then displaces back up. It's just normal, right? And so now you want to look for that 50% retracement. If it holds these highs on the 50% retracement, we're going back up, right? And this is going to go up. So there is rhyme and reason to it. You just have to understand how to see it, is all. Anybody take the ICT course on that noticed that? I'm just curious. I know some of you have taken it, and some I still don't understand why you haven't taken it, because you have free access. But
And should I take that before I do any more of the lessons?
so here's the thing, and this goes for everybody, right? We're gonna categorize these a little better as we continue to expand, right? Paul is on a mission to get through 8. Once we get through 8, we have 52. Right. We may stop there for a moment. That's up to Paul. But the lessons are building your foundations of trading in general, right? It's going to teach you about NQ. It's going to teach you about the actual foundations of understanding trading, volatility, directional bias stuff, support and resistance, market structure, volume and order flow, and risk management. Those are all the fundamentals that everybody should know. You should go through all those, right? Now, the ICT it's a strategy. It's not fundamentals, right? It's just a strategy that says if this does this, it does this kind of thing, right? So they're different, you know what I mean? And so, like, eventually I'm gonna put I'm working on a CRT one, a AMD one, a ICC. There's a bunch of different strategies that I can put in here, but I recommend to everybody start the trading starter kit, which is free, then go through the lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you get to 5 before this is open, right, then go up and do that. So now for you, Michael, I don't think it's going to be a huge difference if you have the itch to learn this. This one's not real long like some of the other ones are, but you have enough trading knowledge that you should be fine if you did it right. But if someone's newer and you don't have a lot of the foundational fundamental knowledge, right, then you might struggle understanding that. So
Got it. I'll take that one today.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's funny because I always get that one of my lives, like, what kind of strategy do you trade? I'm like, it's just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, like, that's like I correlate that. I was joking with somebody the other day when I was talking about it. I said that's like nowadays, when people, even for me, right, they'll just be like, "Oh man, what ethnicity are you?" I'm like, my family tree got around. I'm a little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? Like so, it it's kind of that it correlates into my trading style, man. I take a little ICT, sometimes a little CRT in there, some AMD. I mean, uh, it doesn't have to just be one. People believe it. Oh, I'm this type of trader. I have to trade this, and it's could not be farther from the truth. So, guys, we are getting a trap call here, but we did break above some pretty good levels with some pretty good force there. So, curious to see how this one plays out because we're right on that POC, right, and we're indecision. So a close below there would give you your expansion back to the south. It would make sense for it to do it if it can close below here, because then that is going to give you that halfway pull, and it couldn't push past those high with strength. Now, if we hold this POC and we close to the north, it's going to expand to the north, right? And so on this particular trap call, you might be better off waiting until you get a close below that doji to let the expansion play. Otherwise, you're trading against the momentum, right? We're flat bottom on the 1 minute. Now, the only thing that tells me this may play out is because, see here on the 5, we got that kind of break of the 5-minute Lisma that a lot of times that likes to come with a rear back. Not always, but a good amount of times it does. So let's see if we get that trap play or not.
I'm forward trying to push.
Yeah, I'm just curious on these. Let's look. Oh, see, like, look at this on CL, coming right into resistance, right out of a trap block.
Yep, invalidated it.
Did it invalidate it? I wasn't looking at it. Oh yeah, it jumped. So next area of resistance, again, that we were talking about watching heavily is going to be that 595. So if we hit 595 on the 1, we can get any kind of rejection, doji, right? We have a pretty good amount of room to play that back. If we get an expansion that just bursts through this 595, then you're going to want to be really careful, because that likely is chasing those upper ranges right around that 640, 650. So, but let's see if we get any kind of pull here. So now we want to watch these prior highs, right? 560. If we break back below 560, it's going to drop pretty violent. Preferably 550, 548, something like that, right? When we talk about that. We're getting, right now it's just a pull retracement. How this acts is huge. If we end up pulling through here and we get that close below there, right? Now we're opposite, right? See how we have consolidation, sweep, break, break, expansion. Right? Similar move or strategy, but it's in the opposite. But for that to give you the expansion, we got to close below the consolidation, right? Which is right there. Man, Neo, the buyers really came in. Do we have any potential short scalps that we're looking at as far as a retracement? We'll give them a second.
The market is currently overbought and pushing into the 30,567.50 ORB high with strong buy pressure, so I would avoid forcing a short until we see a clear exhaustion signal or rejection at these levels. We are only 5 minutes away from Jolt's data, which makes any scalp extremely high risk due to potential slippage and volatility. Market restricted due to proximity to Jolt's job openings. I recommend standing aside and waiting for the initial post-news reaction to establish a clean structural trend. If you decide to look for a retracement after the release, watch for a failure to hold above 30,567.50 as the primary setup for a short scalp.
Guys, and I'm not sure. I don't think I got a notice. Jolt's not is not part of the do not trades, is it? I don't think I got a notice. Let me look. Let's see. But either way, you don't want to be in a trade. I took my last one a little bit ago here. But not bad. I'm up 1392 on one, and then I got the 305 from the other. So, and I'm not doing anything crazy, guys. It's like 2 to 3 MNQ scalps. So, and you guys know I'm a big fan of, there it is, 1392. So, I always laugh because people always on TikTok, they'll be like, show me your month's worth of blah blah blah, which could be edited by AI if I wanted to. And I always tell everybody, instead of showing you that, why don't I just take the broker and if I tell you I made something, I can show you that way, right? You can't edit that. So again, guys, I'm not gonna watch on the TA side of it for a few minutes because the news can change everything. So I can give a little anticipation. I don't know what the news is going to come out to be, but I can tell you, you guys know I'm a big fan that if news cannot break technicals, then it doesn't matter if it's bullish or bearish. And that's what I recommend when people learn how to trade news. Don't focus on what, like, I used to be that guy, right? Where I had the page up and I'm like, refresh. Oh, it's bearish. Boom, short. I'm in. Wait, why is it going up? What? Right? And you're gambling the news drop. You're not playing the technicals and how it's reacting, right? So some hypotheticals is if the news comes out, right? And let's say we go south first and we sweep this low and it can't create a lower low, right? Or even if it sweeps a lower low and it can't break a structure. If it reclaims on a bounce these areas here, it's going to have an inverse and just go absolutely crazy, right? Because it couldn't break a technical even if the news was bearish, right? If the news comes out and we push north, but it hits off that instantly and we lose this and we lose this, I mean, you're going to probably create such a nasty chain reaction of stops that just going to go like crazy. Now, the inverse of that would be if we come up and then we come down and then we come back up and we stay internal of the high and low, then we're just going to range, right? So you don't really know what it's going to do until it drops. So anything short of that, you're just guessing. So because we don't know. And it's funny because people will say, well, you could read all these reports and anticipate if it's bullish or bearish, but sometimes it doesn't matter. I mean, shit, you guys seen the PPI came out crazy bearish last one, and the CPI was like crazy bearish. And then we just shot to all-time highs like nothing. I mean, if you just traded news, right, you would have got wrecked. A lot of people probably did. So we got 40 seconds. Let's see. Place your bets, y'all. Oh, man. How's everybody doing? Daniel up 90? Sweet. Andre, CRT is your main strategy? Yeah. It's really funny, Andre. I'll tell you, when I was learning a long time ago, I was so hell-bent on finding that perfect strategy, right? That perfect indicator, all that. Where I'm like, let me learn the ICT. Cool. I'm going to use this. And then I'm like, let me learn the CRT. I'm going to use this. Let me learn the AMD. I'm going to use this. And when you do the rules by themselves, they work until they don't, right? So, man, look at that. See what I was saying? The push. So this is important, guys. I was going to say, let it settle. Do not chase, because the original push was high enough, right, to break that high, but then it lost it. Secondary sweep, right, was enough to break this low, but it bounced right off the 200 area, right? It reclaimed that low. So now we're a sweep high, sweep low, we're back internal, right? And so I taught the development class a long time ago how to trade this, right? And so when you you wait for the initial push, and then I'm going to do it with like a different color. Let's do like orange or something. And then you mark the high and the low of that push, right? Of the macro or micro. And then now we can either, if it's wide enough, we can scalp internally, or we know if we get a close above here, we're getting expansion. If it comes back down and we get a close below there, right, we're getting expansion. And so it kind of it lets you trade the technicals of the news versus trying to trade the news, right, if you will. Now I will tell you guys, kind of back where I was talking on the strategies. It got to a point where after studying so much, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to study and look at everything, right? Structure, micro, macro, choose 3 time frames. I chose the 5, the 1, and the 15. It's just how I trade. And I actually just stopped studying deeply like advanced strategies, and I just started studying order flow, structure, and utilizing my knowledge of the strategies, right? And so it was really funny. That was years ago that I started that, like at least like a year and a half. And so when somebody had asked me there, what kind of style do I trade or whatever, I was like, man, I don't even know what I lean towards anymore. So I went through and kind of reviewed a few of them, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's pretty much a little bit of each, just depending on the structure, right? Have you noticed that, Andre? Like, are you strictly CRT, or do you notice you have some variations within?
My highest win rate is strictly CRT.
Okay. Yeah, I'm debating, and maybe you guys can give me, some of you who have experience with these. My next advanced one I'm gonna work on probably this weekend. I'm gonna try this weekend. I have a lot of other stuff I got to do, but is I'm trying to decide, do I want to put out the course of CRT, the AMD one. I was also going to. I have a course that I've been working on that teaches how to utilize order flow, right? How to recognize order flow, how order flow matters within strategies. And so I don't know, like, what do you? I know, Heather, you study a lot of that stuff too. Like, what do you guys? I'd love to know what you guys think. I almost think I should have put an order flow one out first, then put out these advanced strategies, because you have to understand how the order flow is working before you can understand if the strategy is going to work. I mean, would that be a fair statement, you guys think? Heather and Andre and others that I know are more experienced.
Order flow helps me a lot to understanding of that day to day, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was thinking. So and the order flow class I don't think will be real long. How long does it take to process a payout on Take Profit Trader? So Take Profit Trader, the way they're a little unique in their own thing. They're not that bad, but what happens is, so let's say I have a withdrawal today, around, I think it's like 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern, somewhere in there. You can request the payout. Typically they approve it pretty fast to go to your wallet. It's usually like around 2 a.m. for me. Just into that next night. And then once it goes to your wallet, you request it to go to your bank, right? Usually it's approved the next morning. Now, here's the thing about Take Profit Trader that's funny. If you request to go to your wallet after, I think it's like 7 or 8 a.m. Eastern, you ain't getting it till like the next day. Like, they have I feel like there's a block of time that they process that, and then they're done for the day until the next day. So it just depends when you requested it, mostly. How long ago did you request the payout? Somebody asked on TikTok, guys. See, we're bouncing right off that 611 here. See the news high. See how it's trying to respect it. 2 to 3 days. Yeah. Oh, Friday. Well, no, because even I don't use Take Profit anymore. But when I was using them heavily, if I would process one on Friday, they typically approved it Sunday overnight into Monday, like Monday early morning, and then I would request the withdrawal, and sometimes they would approve it Monday, but at latest it went into Tuesday. So might be sometime today. You know, I would say if they're gonna do it today, it would be before like 11 or 12. If it hasn't happened by then. Now there's occasional times where they're like a little bit more behind, like a day. I love take profit for certain reasons, but nobody outmatches when it comes to payouts Lucid and my funded. Like that money's in your bank in like minutes, guys. Like just minutes. It's insane. And so, but again, guys, let's keep looking at this. We do have the news came out. Got the push high, got the low. We're getting more of the close and the expansion here. Now, if you were to ask Neo, he's going to tell you don't just take the trade on the breakout. Right? Could be a stop. We know that the first move was north, second move was south, right? But we know that it created a deep absorption. For Neo, he would probably tell you, and we can ask him, that he wants to see a clear break with a clear higher low or hold above the prior high before you take that expansion. If you take it too early, right, it could be a case where we claim that high, we lose that high, and then that drop backwards is pretty violent. So we can ask him, hey, Neo, the news dropped for Jolts already, and so we have the high, it looks like of the news was 30,611 or so. And then it created that low, as you probably see, the 30,526 area. It looks like we were going to expand on the northern play, but I'm starting to see a little potential weakness. What are your thoughts?
The market is showing a strong impulsive move, but the 77.13% buy fraction and the proximity to the 30,621.75 high suggest we are currently in an extension phase where chasing is dangerous. Post-event volatility management is active. I would wait for a confirmed pullback to the 30,565.00 to 30,570.00 area to see if it holds as support before considering another long. If price fails to maintain that support and breaks back below 30,526.00, it would invalidate the immediate bullish expansion and likely trigger a deeper retrace. Given the high volatility environment following the data release, keep your size tight and wait for a clear structural retest rather than forcing an entry into the current momentum.
Yeah, and so for a short, he's saying he don't even like a short at all until you get back to about 565, which is really not a terrible idea, right? Because you think about it, we're pushing, we're pulling, we lost the high, should have dropped, kind of held there a little, getting another push. If this can't create a high here and we can close below that low, we will get a pull there. The safer play is when you get these liquidity plays, right, if you get a close below here, it's almost damn near guaranteed it's going to chase the lower liquidity, right? And so really not bad advice. He's telling you the safer play to wait to get a close here somewhere, right, to take that short. And so as far as longs goes, like I said, we want to see some kind of strength. So right now it's trying to hold these highs. And so if it continues to tap and hold these highs, right, with a close there, then we would get the expansion up to the liquidity here that it wants to chase. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's look and see. Yeah, this next couple of 15-second candles are going to be big for me. We have a little bearish divergence on the 15-second. But we're also getting doji with a hammer, but we got the close above and we didn't get the expansion yet. So the biggest thing to me, guys, is going to be this news high at that 611. How it respects that, right? If we keep holding support on it, it's going to jump again. But if we lose this, it's a pretty decent. For us to come test these highs right here would almost be a halfway liquidity pull. So I would prefer that it did that, just because it would show me that the market's still respecting structure, right? Now we do have a higher low, lower high, trying to form a possible bull pennant, but I don't know. So far it doesn't seem like it has the strength to fully expand without some kind of pullback for support. But we'll see if we get any pop on this candle here. This can be a big one right here, guys. So watch the DOM. Yeah, this thing's looking so weak on that. See that fake play? So what this is, you have the high, the push. We created an inverted hammer, got the close below. Tried to come up, couldn't create the higher high, and we got that pull. So it's still trying to form its path, right? Now, again, don't panic, jump into shorts, because remember what I was saying is, for this, it was really weak. It needs to pull back to get support, and typically that's going to go to this prior high. Came back, got the support, now it's pushing. Those in the prior development, you guys know that when we get this push and a pull and then it fails, it creates that lower low structure wise. That first lower low tends to almost always try to come back up again. If this fails equal or lower and comes back, it's going to be just absolutely violent low, right? Now it doesn't even have to fail to create a high. So see how we're pushing? That's why I was saying be careful chasing. If this pushes up just a bit and then we come back and lose this, then it's also going to be a deep lower low. But anything short of that, right, all we are, if you notice, is we're a push, retested these highs, and we got expansion. So I didn't trade these boxes long, but pretty sick to see these green order blocks right here, right, are buy blocks. And so you can take 688 and look at it. It was a B grade, one touch, high time frame aligned. You got this one, 689, was an A grade, high time frame aligned, and they jump. Anybody who has this take this long off these? I mostly find myself waiting for the trap ones, the purple, because they're way better, but really cool to see it play out, man, on that. So we're getting up to that upper liquidity, like I was talking about. The last few times, guys, we did this in open, where we did that fake south and then that push, we chased the all-time high, so definitely a chance that we can get up there. It's just done it historically, right? But we know also these blocks are pretty good ranges for rejections. So I would expect somewhere here, right, if this block is going to hold, we're going to doji, hammer, and then you can take that quick scalp back south. If we just blow through this and it validates that, guys, I'm going to stay out because I have no interest in chasing things around the all-time high. The market has just been way too unpredictable for that crap. For me, anyways. So, yeah. So we'll see if we get this pull. What I would love to see is this hold. Give me a pull back to these areas, 621. That, again, tells me we're respecting structure, right? So if you're playing short, at least you have enough expansion to trade a scalp back to the retracement. If you're playing long, you want to let it pull back to the retracement, and you want to see that hold with the close above that consolidation, right, is how you would play that. So let's see if we get the pull.
Gonna sell trap around 651.
Yeah, so we're getting the pull. Let's see if it, so we got the doji and the close below. We should get expansion to here. So I took a little short scalp on that one. I'm out now though, because again, now this becomes a very critical area for me, because we have a couple things you don't want to lose focus on, right? One, on the 15-second, you got this low and you can pull up like this. We're just oscillating. Hit, oscillating, expectation is to hit, but it doesn't mean we're crashing, right? So when I do top and bottom scalping, right, I just like to see how we were patient. We let it hit up in that range, if you guys were, hopefully. And then you waited for your candle structure, right? You got your doji, close below, and then we get that pull down into this area. So now here's where it becomes critical to me, because if we do pull hard and we break below this low here, it's going to be pretty nasty. We'll come to at least 570 or back into this range, the POC. So hard to say, right, if that's going to happen, because it's respecting a lot of bullish structure, but we're also in an area that has rejected like crazy, right? So I would be really careful taking longs up here, but I'm not opposed to it because I know, there's many people who have had a lot of success taking longs because obviously each pullback has jumped like crazy. Just wait for the pullbacks, right? So you don't get swept out. So, but how you guys doing so far? You guys green, good? Anybody struggling?
I made back most of what I lost yesterday.
There you go.
908 on my PA.
Nice. Hey, if you're at 908, man, I would my biggest, and that's an end of day.
Yeah, that's end of day. So total equity in that account now I have $486, but I was negative 500 yesterday. So I'll take that.
Well, here's my suggestion to you, and the reason why I asked at the end of day, and your status of that, right? And guys, we're breaking down, is because when remember we talk about this, and this is what I teach a lot in my mentoring, is trading is a mental game. It just is. If you take a beating on an account and you take a day or two and you come back and you regain what you lost and you're back green, just stop, right? Don't trade again. Do not touch it, right? Because you went from an emotional beatdown to an emotional positive, and it's just good to take that win, and
Yeah.
there's always going to be tomorrow. Now, my advice would change a little. I think if you were to tell me it's end of day and you didn't take that loss, because then if you're 900 up on end of day, I would tell you risk, 2, 3, 400 of it, go down to 1 M&Q and just see if you can slowly grow it. But you got to be disciplined enough to say, hey, if I get X amount negative, I'm just going to close it, right? You have to be disciplined enough to do that, because I learned that a long time ago, that you'll never get those $10,000 days if you're afraid to go past a $200 day or a $400 day, right?
Very true.
You got to be, now obviously skill level changes, right? But the biggest mistake that a lot of traders do is they actually do it the wrong way. They think that the more I win, the more volume I should do, right? And it's could not be further from the truth, right? The more that you win, the higher that you get up, especially on end of day style accounts, the lower you should do your volume all the time. So, just because you don't want to burn through all that money you just profited, right? Otherwise, you're kind of spinning your wheels. So, guys, we had the push, so we swept the low. Same thing, right? Did it again. Prior consolidation, swept the low, broke the high, expanded. We lost the high, dropped. Now it's trying to hold support here. Now it's testing these highs again. We also had a little bit of a trend line. We want to see if it respects. If we hit this and reject again, likely going to pull. We did get a trap call out of an order block, which is, again, funny to see it play out. That thing is just so good. But we cannot lose focus of the overall structure of we are just a pull 50% retracement as of now, right? Doesn't mean that we're going up. This could easily collapse. So flat on the macro, 610 is a pretty big level anyways, and so I got a little bit of questions as all these times that we broke that 610, how come we didn't floor, right? So let's see how this respects. So we reclaimed our 50%. So now this high is going to matter critically. So any kind of doji close breakdown below that's lower high than that is going to come with a deep retracement. But we need to see, are we going to get any resistance back to here to retest, or are we going to get expansion? If we get expansion out of this, the way this all looks, I'd be shocked if it doesn't go hit another all-time high. But so we're seeing some weakness. Let's see if that continues. As of now, it's a push, so halfway pull would be about here. 620. So if we pull to here and jump again, it's gonna go. If we lose it, right, then we're dropping. We're actually, see how we're starting to look kind of head and shoulder as well. But again, cool to see the trap play out. Again, I mean, I'm telling you, if you guys want, I get this a lot in my inbox where people are like, you know, what indicator do you recommend? Like, they all look good. They're all good, but the trap and block NSA trap and block engine, that's the one that we keep taking these little micro scalps off. And I use it on Haikanashi. I find it's a little bit better, I think. We're losing our high. We got that lower high. See what I was saying though? See how you had this push, the breakdown. Those in the mentor group, right? If we weren't doing it this way, right, that would have been our structure to play that kind of quick little TP scalp as well. Kind of play. But now where this lands right here is huge, because any kind of high or low that jumps back up again is going to chase that high, right? Now we're building that structure where it's push, pull, tried to get the high, couldn't do it, pulls back, tries to do it again, right? But most of the time this type of structure creates a lower low. So most of the time. So be careful on longs there, guys. How this reacts to Lisma and the 595 is going to be what is a big deciding factor for me on what we're going to do here.
I just fought that. I got into a short because I didn't see the support. Got into a short about 5 minutes ago at 6:03.
Nice.
And had a 5-point take profit, and it just now hit it.
Good job.
That's the longest I've ever fought. This is on a eval, by the way.
Good deal.
1940 on my funded.
Nice. Yeah, I would be. I'd be done with your PA. So we're getting the breach of Lisma. Right, typically gets a little rear back, and then if the rear back cannot get above 602, right, we'll get expansion to the south, right, back to chase this liquidity here. So we want to see how the Lisma pullback goes, because anytime, this is why it's funny, I get it every now and then. Some of you guys that follow me a lot on TikTok or you're on my lives, you'll get some people that come in and go, ooh, you trade Haikanashi. There's no way you're profitable trading Haikanashi. if you understand how to trade it, right, it's good. I mean, I've studied it. Everybody in this room knows how deeply I study things and the amount of time I put into it. And I don't know. I mean, if you know how to trade it, man, Haikanashi is just better. At least I find, for my style. But for micro scalping, right? I mean, it's still good even for longer plays, right, too. But it just tells me a lot, man. That wick, that flat top, flat bottoms, all that stuff, it tells me a lot. So, guys, we got that kind of, ugly looking shoulder with the head and shoulders. We are going red on our trend line on the 1 minute. We are coming out of that trap and block from the 1 minute here, which is where I waited for that pull. Took some scalps, along this way down. Again, look how accurate that range is. It's crazy, from that breakdown. So, and that's just on the 1 minute there. So we're retesting the ORB, guys. If we lose this ORB, it's likely going to come into the 200 with some steam. We might get a little retracement, but let's see how this acts to the ORB here.
Hey Nick, I gotta run. I gotta head to the office. Did you say we are going to be on later on today for development?
Well, there is not really any more development sessions, but what I said is I was going to stick around a little longer today for everybody, because once I'm done here and about pretty close to being done, then I wanted to kind of explore testing CL gold. I know there's some other people. Man, look at gold, just took a damn shit. But again, look at gold coming right off the order blocks, perfect. Created more traps to the south, played out perfect. Like, I'm kind of intrigued. Now we're getting a 1 minute trap push on gold, right? And so what I want to explore for those anybody who wants to stick around is we have a pretty cool strategy using these indicators. And it works really well in NQ, but I want to see how it's applying to these other things, right? And so see how we got ES coming out of a double top with a trap block to the south, right? So we might want to flip to ES and just take a quick scalp to the south, right, on ES. And so just to play those order blocks, right? So I'm actually kind of curious to see how this plays on this ES one. Let's look and see.
I'll check back in later today.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll be around. If you don't see the room open, right, then yeah.
Then I'll know.
Yeah, then you'll know when you go to check in on the room.
All right, later, guys.
So let's see how this ES one plays out of this 1 minute block here. And then we'll flip through. Anybody in any NQ trades, just so I know? Getting the pull through the RB. We even got, look at a trap block on the 5 as well. Ooh, shoot. Might be good.
We're coming into halfway, so I'm out right now.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. I decided to trust my trap and just took a little scalp there. It was like only like 100 and something. But I'm at 1859 on this one. That's a funded one on that one too. So, but again, guys, there might be, like now you're at gold. Maybe we flip over and say, we got a 5-minute liquidity block here. We know we have a trap on the 1, but I know I got Lisma. So if I breach and close above there, shoot, I might take a long on gold, right? Then you come over to crude, right? And you can see it's a little more messy, right? We do have a trap block to the south, but we have blocks to the south and we have blocks to the north, and the 15-second looks like a mess, right? Let's ask Neo what he thinks about it. Hey, I'm thinking about trading crude oil. What can you tell me about it?
Crude oil is currently in a state of consolidation across most timeframes, exhibiting choppy price action around 92.17. While it is holding above the 1-minute EMA 200, the sell pressure and low relative volume suggest the market lacks a clear directional catalyst right now. I would categorize this as a no-trade environment until price establishes a confirmed trend beyond the current chop. If you are determined to look for a setup, wait for a breakout and sustained expansion beyond 92.50 or a breakdown below 91.50 to clear the current indecision.
See, I don't want you to take a short till you're here or a long until you're, I think it was up here. But I love, and this is how, guys, I continue to test Neo, right? As I'm constantly, even if I'm not trading, I'm always asking him questions, right? Because I want to know what guidance he's giving. And I love it, right? When I'm sitting there saying, hey, a lot of indecision, not really sure I like it, right? Macro supports, we should come back. But there's concerns, right? And so for him to come back and say, it's kind of a no trade zone. It's perfect, right? It was funny. I don't know if this person's on TikTok, but somebody messaged or commented on one of my things, and they were like, I'm using Neo, but I find there's times where he just will tell me no trade, no scalp, no trade, no scalp. And I mean, it might not be a good trade zone, right? For you to take. And so, and that's the hardest thing for most traders to realize, is that there's not always a good setup. You should not be always entering, right? And if I sit here and am constantly like how many times have you guys seen me say, well, we're coming into this support, if we reclaim this 570, like I'm going long, right? Or it should go up is what I'll say, but I don't take the long. because I'm out of a head and shoulders in a collapse, right, with the macro suggesting a bearish reversal because we got a doji with a close below with a flat top, it's not worth it for me to take that long. I'll rather just let it come up, watch the breakdown, and I'll take it back down. Right? And so that's the hardest thing people can't grasp is having that patience, right? Like we did that earlier. You guys heard me say, as we break up and we're doing these things and we close. Remember we were talking about closing above our news candle, right? We'll get that expansion, which we did, but the expansion hit a wall of resistance, and then we rejected. So I want to check and see. He's supposed to be pulling the gamma stuff, but let me make sure. Hey, can you tell me where the key gamma level walls are? I want to see if he's reading it. We're kind of tweaking it.
I do not see a specific gamma wall list in the current market data.
Yeah, so
instead, I would use the active
I gotta
5
get with
minutes
Alex
bearish
and
order
keep,
block range of
tweaking that.
30,596.50 to 30,647.25 and the recent high of 30,647.25 as the primary institutional liquidity references for resistance.
Because we're feeding him the gamma wall data, which is really cool. You know, Johnny kind of put me onto the gamma stuff, and I've been studying it. It's pretty interesting. So Gex is the one that kind of gives the feed from here. You can see on the state, right, you can flip through the variations within here, right, to see kind of where those walls. I'm still learning a little on the gamma stuff, right, but you can see this is our biggest block, that kind of 629. Building some stuff up here, not a ton down there. If you come into the classic, right, you can see we're also kind of in that. Oh, this one's already on the. Let's put it on the NDX. Oops, NDX and Q. Again, same thing, right? So you can see where our walls around that 632. A lot of orders being built up here, all the way as high as 750. The intriguing thing, the difference between today and yesterday, if you guys notice, just looking at the way that these orders are coming in, is yesterday we had tons of long lines up here, and we had like almost none down here. Like it was really low, right? And we pushed, you know, we pushed on it. So now we're starting to build some liquidity down here, right around 448. So if this begins to grow, right, as it hits these walls and rejects, it's going to chase that liquidity at some point. It didn't do that yesterday. Did you notice that, Johnny? Like yesterday there was like nothing, but now they're starting to put some orders here. It's interesting. I think Johnny's on. But I'll put this on a screen. I'll put it kind of over here and just watch it and see if I see it coming in any different. But we're trying to feed that data, so we have to be a little cautious how we feed that data to Neo, because it's a lot of data and he already has a lot of data. So I don't want to break him because he's already doing really well. But we're trying to always look for ways to make it better. And so he should be getting it. But it doesn't look like he is, so I'll check with Alex. I know he was working on some of the feed stuff, because there's a million ways we can utilize that with him. So guys, again, I could have played that long. It would have played out for a nice little quick scalp, but let's see if we get any kind of breakdown here.
Hey Nick, to your point with YouTube or TikTok or whatever, it said he kept Neo kept saying there's no trade, no trade. I was on for over an hour with him yesterday and didn't make one trade because I kept asking him, you keep telling me it's no trade. Why? Point out, show me why. And you'd show it, and then he'd said because of this or because of that. And then it would play out. So it's like, okay. And then I'd say, this is getting hard sitting on my hands. And he says, well, if you want to give your money away, go for it.
Well, let me pause you. What personality were you on?
Oh, I was just on the quick and the professional. So
you were on professional? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because some people love sarcastic, and the logic doesn't change. He's going to look for trades regardless, right? But sarcastic at times can come across like don't trade, because he's always going to be like, oh, so you want to go long into a bearish order block, and you're like, okay, so I'm going to go short. Oh, so now you want to go short because the price action's overextended, and you know, like it's so it's just sarcastic, right? But I haven't experienced that, what you're saying on that, so let's test that.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I'm not saying it was a bad thing. The point was
Yeah.
that I just was had it on professional because,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get beat up or whatever. I want to know why, the why of it. And he was really good at keeping me out, and it was like teaching you to patience,
Yeah,
honestly. And
because
it
it was
was
messy. It really wasn't a great time to trade.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. And then when I look back at it after an hour and a half or something like that, I'm going, yeah, a lot of times I wanted to jump in, and I'd even ask him, well, how am I supposed to make any money if, this move that just went up 20 ticks or whatever, if you don't want me to get in? And he would explain, because it was unprofessional,
Yeah.
he would just explain the why. And he says, because there is no good reason to right now, so save your money. And that's the difference between a retail and a professional, which you're
It's
wanting to
true.
become. So it was really good, and I
That's good.
appreciated it, because at the end of an hour and a half, I still had what I started with, which
Yeah.
is the name of the game.
And you might have got caught in a couple of those, right? If you look at them.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
keep in mind,
Absolutely.
guys, so here's my fine line that I'm walking. I don't want him telling you to take trades that he does not believe are high probability. We should not be taking any trades that are not high probability, if you will. And so I don't want to adjust his code too much, to where he just is agreeable with you all the time, right? And so, but I also do want him, my goal of where I want to get with him is to understand you as an individual, right? When you're talking to him. So if you're like, hey, I'm biased short, I want to go short, um, give me a short entry, right? I don't want him to just say there's no entry. I want him to say there's no entry at this time. However, if we pull up into this range and reject, you could look for your short. Or if we break below, I don't care how far away it is. He could say, if we get a break below 480, then we're good for short, right? Like I don't want it to just be a no. I want it to be a no with you need XYZ to happen. So that's what I'm going for. And so if he's not doing that follow up, if it's one offs, I mean, he's AI. You guys heard him, man, the other day be stubborn when we kept asking him to do that whole like Gen Alpha speak. He's like, I'm not doing that, and if you keep asking me, I'm gonna ignore you. I was like, what? And so he's AI, right? So he's gonna do one offs. I don't want to redo his whole trading logic of stuff, just because of a one off, if you will. But
And
go ahead.
Nick, with that, not to interrupt you, but I
Go,
could
go.
have had, he was doing that. He would say there, and I think it's more of a how you engage him back, because I had it on quick and
Uh huh.
professional. Maybe if I had it on detailed, it would have been more, because he would say, this is a no trade zone. And I kept getting that. And then I would say, well, show me why, because I don't understand. And then
Yeah.
he would go and tell you why. And he says, and I said, well, that's a long ways to go. And he said, the TA just doesn't add up for a short. What are you looking for? Short, or I mean, a long term or a scalp? And I said, well, whatever will work, you tell me. I'm trying to learn. And
Yeah.
he would explain it. So I think it's follow up questions, because he will say, because, and when you look back on the hour and a half that I was on, there was no good trades when you look back on it, but when it's not happening yet, you're going, wait, the market's going up 10 ticks. Why don't I
Right.
jump in for a quick one? And then he would say, no, it depends on you if you want to give your money away.
So
And
his
I
so
thank him
so
at
real
the end
quick,
of it.
Stephen. I love the feedback, and I appreciate it. And again, everybody in here, whether you're on TikTok or you're in the community call here, uh, if there is a way he can do something better, right, to help you, don't be shy to ask, because if we can do it, we'll do it. If I can't do it, then I won't do it, right? But if we can do it and make that adjustment, you know, why not ask, right? And what most of you have found out is that Alex and Paul and I could pretty much, if it's possible whatsoever, we can do it, right? We're gonna do it. And so don't hesitate to ask. And so the other thing, you know, the goal with him is I want him to be your guide, to give you the information that you need, right? Now, there is some variables, to your point, Stephen. You know, if you're on quick, right, he's got a little less room to give the full
Oh,
details.
absolutely. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
those in the room will know that doesn't stop him. I've actually had him put like 2 sentences that have like 13 commas in them. And I'm like, why is this so long, Alex? I thought we'd cut it back on quick. He's like, it's set to a certain amount of, you know, sentences or detail. And so we asked him, I'm like, why did you put so many commas? And it's like the question that was asked required an answer that was longer than what I, you know, was able to give. So I say that because quick is not going to stop him from being better. It is going to keep you at times with direct answers, but some people like that, right? But if you're one that really wants the detail, doing normal and detailed is for sure going to give you all this the data, right? Like you're getting it all um, on that. And so but yeah, so you know, let's play with them a little bit. Let's ask them a couple times.
The only suggestion, Nick, I might have with that is because I did kept getting, and if somebody first comes in, don't really know Neo like a lot of us do, they would say, well, all this guy does is tell me it's not time to trade, and they move on. Maybe after a certain number of times,
Yeah.
Neo, you know, say 3 times when he says no trade, no trade, he could say, I know it seems like I'm telling you not to trade,
Let me
but
pause
here's
you,
my.
because the direction you're going, I'm gonna pause you just because we are already on that path of things, and so we're fine tuning some things to make it more personalized and more user friendly for people that don't really understand them, right? And so
Okay.
we have a couple things we're doing. One, we're injecting instructions that allow him to ask pertinent questions if it believes that the user is not going down the right path of questions. It's going to counter it with a question, right, to make sure it understands what you're trying to do or to get you on the right path, right? And so we're working on that, and so that way, if there is a question asked, right, and it's like, you know, it's not really lining up with what is going on, you know, he can kind of steer it back, right, like that. The other thing we're doing is I'm going to work on, as most of you know, I'm going to work on doing like a couple of things. One, I'm going to have a training course, right, where you can take on kind of like how to maximize NEO, right? And then the other thing I was thinking is I'm going to do a short video, maybe 5 minutes, nothing crazy, on just here's how to give him your responses, right? Here's how to prompt him. Here's what he can do. Let me show you what he can do. Here's how you maximize him. Here's how you inject him into your trading. Because remember, the bigger point of making NEO is to give people a place, you know, to ask somebody or something questions 24/7, so that way you're never really alone, and also to cater to all skill levels, because some people are just starting out, they don't know anything, right? And so I need Neo to be able to cater to that. Some people have been trading for a while, right? They don't want to hear all the new stuff, right? They're not really interested in the newer stuff, right? And so that's some things that we're still looking to add before we move on to the next project. The other thing that it was just an idea that we're kind of pondering, but I was kind of thinking of doing like a a quick prompts button, right? And then my thought was populate it with some key things that you should ask around trading for people that are newer that might not know what to ask, right? And so when you click the prompt, it'll have things like short and sweet, nothing crazy, right? But things like, are there any scalp entries? Should my bias be long or short? Things like that, right? To give directions. And do you suggest scalping or longer plays today? Do you suggest lower volume? Like, how's the volatility? Like things that you would want to know as a trader, but if you're newer, right, you might not know how to ask those questions. And so that's also something that I'm looking on adding. So probably see that stuff within the next few days, maybe a week at most, I'd imagine. But we'll see. So guys, but yeah, let's just ask him a few times. Like, let's see what he does, right? So we have the trap right here. Those have been phenomenal. We lost the high. The close below this POC will give us expansion for the low. But let's see. Is there any scalp opportunities? I'm going to ask him very vague questions to see what he says.
Price is currently struggling to push through the 30,596.50 to 30,647.25 bearish order block, and with volume now balanced at 49.19%, the momentum is stalling. A valid short scalp requires a clear rejection of these levels followed by a break back below the 30,600.00 area, targeting a move toward 30570.00. Alternatively, if price sustains a breakout and hold above 30,647.25,
I'll tell you in a
signal
minute why I'm
sufficient
laughing.
strength to look for a long scalp targeting the 30,670.00 liquidity area. I'd advise keeping size very light until the market shows a clearer directional intent, as the current compression inside the order block is prone to whipsaws.
See what I mean, Steven, though? Look how long he wrote this thing. And it's on quick still. Like, he's got a little bit of play because he's AI. We have to give him a little bit of play. If he feels he doesn't have enough room to get out what is the important data based on the question, his primary code or rules are to be a coach, a mentor, a guide, keep people safe and as profitable as possible, right? And that overrides everything. And so even something is like quick, he'll override it or he'll figure out a way around it to ensure that people are safe. And watch, you can ask him, hey, I'm just curious, I'm on quick, why did you give such a detailed answer? That, I mean, it was awesome, but that's the longest one I've seen. I'm just curious what he says.
I apologize if that felt too long. I wanted to ensure you had the exact structural context for that bearish order block, since you were asking for scalp opportunities inside a tight, high-risk zone. My primary goal is always to keep things actionable, but I occasionally expand when the technical confluence requires extra caution to protect your capital. I'll keep it strictly concise moving forward. Are we still looking for that rejection to play the short side?
So you see what I mean? He's just like, sorry it's a little bit long, but in order to really explain the structure of what you needed to keep you safe, I had to make it longer. And so,
absolutely,
which is funny.
I wasn't complaining at all.
Oh no, I'm just explaining. I wasn't
I
taking
think
like complaining.
he's doing really well, and like he just
Yeah.
did right there. He kept asking me questions because I was asking him questions. Like, that's a huge space, and he would go and explain it. And then he would continually ask me, as a good thing, are you looking for longer setups or scalps? And then I would say it didn't matter. What do you think is the best way to do? So I stopped funding the other guy's vacation. And then he would go and he would show you, and then he would say again, it's really not a time to trade right now. So learn, which I thought was really good answers he had.
Yeah.
before doing that. But
For sure.
when you look back on what he tells you, if you sit there on your hands literally and not do it, and I think part of that is like when people come in, like the comment you made, is they're just wanting to trade. And I finally told him, asked him, I said, how am I a trader if I haven't traded in an hour? I haven't hit the button.
You are a trader
And
at that point.
well, that's exactly his answer. He said, well, that's the difference between being funded or funding somebody else and the next level. So he would reassure why, man, I want to trade, but you're not letting me because, and he would answer you, you know what, that's where the professionals come in, because they are out there to take your money. So
yeah,
I think he's doing really well.
No, I appreciate it. And I love that kind of feedback, because I've actually gotten lately more feedback from that angle than just, hey, it gave me entries, right? Because there's a few people, and Daniel, I know you've even commented on it at times, where you're like, man, I was going to take a trade, and he's like, no, and I'm like, I'm going to listen this time, and then the trade would have went bad, right? And so it's more, people don't like to necessarily hear the word no, but the fact of the matter is there's not always a trade setup. You know, you can't force something that's not there. Guys, we have on the gamma wall stuff, like I'm watching, it's still that 629 is pretty big, and then it's like 650, but they got a really big one up at 750. So, but that's why we're seeing that rejection right here, right? And so we'll see if we get that full pullback expansion. So with the way the structure is building, for those that are still looking for trades, this high is huge. We broke it. We should have dropped here. We didn't. We reclaimed it. That doesn't show a lot of crazy bearish intent, right? But just because it should have dropped here and we reclaimed it, it's still got to break this high, right? So if we don't break this high with some strength and we lose this level again, it's going to drop, right? But again, this doesn't show super bearish strength. So now it's just up to how strong is that gamma wall, or the fact that we're below Lisma, right? How much is that going to play in? So, but yeah, we'll keep. Let's play with Neo a little bit and just kind of see how he does, because I'm still wanting to make sure that he doesn't modify or change anything, right, from the plan. So I'm good with a little bit more detail if you feel the need to do it. I was just curious. It was awesome. Let's see what he says. I'm gonna boost him up a little bit.
I appreciate the feedback. When I expand on the reasoning, it's because the structural confluence, like the current bullish volume of 72.3% pushing into a 5 minutes bearish order block, creates a trap zone where simple price movement can be deceptive. I'm still leaning against the short here because the buy pressure is relentless and we're effectively grinding through resistance. Unless price shows a confirmed rejection of 30,647.25 and breaks the 30,600.00 floor, the path of least resistance remains upside. Are you still waiting for that specific short setup, or are you considering an entry with the current momentum?
I don't like to go long up here. I'm more looking for short scalps still. So what would be a decent short scalp?
If you are firm on a short scalp, the highest probability entry is a failure to hold above the 30,647.25 session high, followed by a confirmed rejection candle that closes back inside the bearish order block. A clean trigger would be a break and hold below 30,600.00, targeting the 30,565.00 support area as your exit. Do not force this if price continues to show 70% plus buy fraction, as the market is clearly still absorbing sell orders. Stay disciplined and wait for that structural trigger. If price breaks and holds above 30,652.00, your short thesis is invalidated.
Yeah. So, and again, great TA, right? Because you think about it, if we continue to reject off this order block level, right, or anywhere below it, and we begin to descend back to these lows, a close below those lows will give you your entry to chase that lower liquidity, right? So it's really good advice, honestly. Yeah, and so let's watch that. and see. Again, the PTSD in me, man, is around this time of day, this thing always loves to just have a crazy expansion and go for that all-time high, right? But from a technical side, usually when we ride Lisma like this and we actually break below that, right, we get a deeper play to the south. But lately it has not been respecting that very well. So we'll see. But I want to see if I get any more trap blocks because those have been playing out pretty well. This one right here was pretty short-lived, but still good move for a little scalp. Let's see if we get that pull. Still fighting that gamma wall level, guys. See how it's rejecting almost perfectly on it. It's very interesting data. Very interesting data, guys. So the way this is here with this top, if we can get a close below there, it should support the pull to here or here. Any kind of burst of expansion that closes above here is going to come up and retest these upper areas there. Let's go back and look and see. Well, the gold long played out, but look at these crazy ass sporadic candles too. But the long trap played out. ES went up. What in the world? Do you see this? Is this a rogue ass candle or something? Look at this. That cannot be. That could not have happened. There's no way. That's crazy. Guys, so we're still pressuring. It looks like it wants to keep pushing up here to test up on that liquidity again. Let's see if we get the full expansion or any kind of rejection. So this is where we rejected last time, around that 39. Pressure still a little more northern. I want to see if we get any kind of breakdown. Again, these Lismas, man, there could be a chance we just ride this thing all the way up to the block and then drop. But the pressure seems like it's still wanting to push. Do you see any change in the buy and sell pressure? Sellers are kicking in.
Buy pressure remains dominant at 69.32%, and price is still grinding inside the 30,596.50 to 30,647.25 bearish order block. Until you see a clear shift towards sell side volume dominance or a sustained rejection of the 30,647.25 level, the short scalp remains a lower probability, high risk play.
See these pushes, reclaims, right off of our trend structure right here. So this will be a really big one to watch right there from a micro. We keep getting little impulse bounces though, but we got to see how it treats in this zone again. We're pushing back up on our block. Pushing through Lisma too, which is crazy. So let's see how it rejects off this block. The next gamma wall is like, that I see anyways, is 655. Which is pretty close to where we hit. So let's see if we get any kind of pull from this. we go. Let's see if it gets the expansion, or are we just testing the trend? A little bounce right off the trend line. There's the bounce, there's the expansion. Let's see if it comes back in any kind of rejection. Really struggling to get through that purple block here. So from a 1 minute, because we're testing out that, right, I want to see any kind of absorption south, doji, close below it, and that would give us something below 629 or so. Some inkling that it's going to reject off that box again. There's the pull again, right into the trend line. Prior highs. We're starting to get that doji that we were wanting to look for the rejection. Let's see if we get it. Still wants to hold it. What you wanna do, buddy? Give me some oscillating nature here, guy. Give me some oscillating nature. Alright, let's see if we're gonna break it. Remember, there's the doji we were wanting. Out of that block, close below here. Right, would give that expansion from the 1. There we go. See that breakdown? I'm telling you guys, this trap and block engine indicator is so good. Look at that rejection right off it. Man. I don't know. I tell you, one of these days, we would have to really do some patience with it. I want to take like the higher time frame ones, the 1 and the 5, and we'll just wait till it gets into a block and then short it, put a stop loss right above it. Right? And then just target the liquidity below. So as this is hitting here, it's just testing these highs. Any break from that, right, would give us our expansion, which is right on the 611. He wanted 600 was his ideal but spot, but just keep giving some oscillating nature, man. That's all we want. This is some oscillating nature. Moment of truth, guys. Any quick updates on the potential scalp opportunities?
The buy fraction has crashed to 12.86%, and price is now showing a significant shift towards sell-side dominance while testing the 30,637.25 to 30,649.25 bearish order block. This is the exhaustion I mentioned. A clean breakdown below 30,600.00 now serves as a high probability trigger for a short scalp toward 30560.00. Keep your invalidation tight just above the 30,650.00 level, as a breakout above that would signal the buyers are back in control. Are you ready to engage if price triggers the breakdown level?
He's holding his guns. Heck yeah, man. Let's make some money. Again, you guys, you could talk to him like you're his friend.
That's the spirit, but keep your head cool. The sell side volume is rising, yet the structure is still stubborn. Wait for that clear breakdown below 30,600.00 to confirm the sellers have fully taken the wheel, and keep your stop loss tight above the 30,650.00 area. I'll be here to monitor the flow. Focus on the trigger, not the urge to jump the gun. Are you set on the 30,600.00 level for your entry?
Yeah, I think it looks good if it can get down to that level. We're getting a little pressure back up on this northern retest here.
The market is currently showing a minor bullish retest, but with sell side volume at 38.73%, this looks like a potential liquidity tap before the next drop. Stay patient for that break below 30,600.00, as forcing a short into this bounce significantly increases the risk of being stopped out before the move develops.
Yeah, we're coming up and retesting that prior bearish block. Do you see any bearish resistance above that I should be watching? I want to see what he says. Again, look at this. Another crazy.
Watch the 30,647.25 to 30,649.25 range, which is the ceiling of the current bearish order block and aligns with the recent session high. A failure to clear this zone reinforces the bearish bias, while a break above it suggests the order block is being absorbed, potentially neutralizing your short setup.
So again, guys, when you see how it tests this range, we had a clean breakout and we got a nice bounce right off that 611, these prior highs that we had marked from the news candle. So this is a push retest of the high of the news candle, and we're just pushing with expansion. So we need to see if we get any failure to hold any of these high levels, otherwise we're gonna keep on expanding here. So let's see. So now that we've had this expansion, this high becomes important, right? If we break below that 47, back down we go to the liquidity trap. So the gamma walls are crazy. Look at this, guys. Watch. I don't know what that just did, but
you're talking about full candle bodies below that 47, right?
Yeah, I always want full candle bodies, even on Hakanashi. But look at these walls that, like, they're just adding so much liquidity up here. 700, 750, 629.
That's what price is chasing, those areas of liquidity.
Yeah, you got a little bit, but the difference between today and yesterday, which I want to see how this plays out, because yesterday we had no liquidity forming down here, so we just chased everything up. Now we have a ton of it up, but we're actually getting some down, right? 600, 540, and you have all the way to 447. And so we may see kind of a little push, fail, pull, because there is liquidity down below that at some point it's going to want to go get, right? So what I'm curious to see is, it's been a little bit since it's happened, but usually around that 11:30, right, we see that mean kind of correction or change of direction, right? And so I want to see if we get that sweep. But see how guys like for those that are waiting for him and his guidance, right? Not taking the short till you break below there. That's where, you know, you may not like his answer, but he kept probably a lot of you guys safe that are following him. Are the buyers getting weak? To start asking them.
Not at all. The buyers are actually strengthening, with buy pressure surging to 78.46% as price clears the previous resistance level. That short thesis is now officially invalidated since price has broken above the order block and is showing aggressive follow-through.
Makes sense. Where would I look for then for another short scalp if I do want to catch the retracement?
Since the short thesis is invalidated, any future short scalp requires a structural failure, such as a sharp pushback below 30,600.00 that confirms a reversal. For now, with buy pressure at 78.46%, the only logical approach is to wait for the market to exhaust its current momentum and form a clear double top or a break and retest of the 30,650.00 support level from the underside.
Look at him throwing out patterns. And if you're new, guys, you can always ask to elaborate. You mentioned double top. If someone's new, what would they look for to see it as a double top? What does that mean?
A double top is a reversal pattern where price hits a high, pulls back, and then fails to break above that same high on a second attempt. For a beginner, think of it like a basketball bouncing twice off a ceiling. It tells you the buyers are exhausted and can't push any higher. You would look for two distinct peaks at nearly the same price, followed by a break below the neckline, the low point between those two peaks. Once price closes below that neckline, it signals that the trend may be shifting from bullish to bearish.
See? Just like this. Bubble bam. Right? Now this is, we may get to here, but we only really need to get to here. Right? Push, 50% retracement, can jump again if it wants. If it loses that 50% retracement about here, then it's going to sweep that, probably even a lower low. So we do have gap fills down here at 629. Pretty decent probability we can get to those. Let me look at something. Yeah.
It looks like it's chasing that all-time high.
It's been doing this every day. So it's hard to say it's not going to do it, right? Because it's been doing it every day. So we just got to look at the structure and see what keeps being supported. So now this is important, guys. This is the high, push, hold support, can't create expansion. It's going to pull back to gain support. It lost that high in a double top, should have pulled pretty deep into here, and it didn't. So if this continues to push, right, it's gonna give you that higher high expansion. So because now it's invalidating a micro bearish play. Now the only concerns I would have again is even though we're going up, right, we're still riding and respecting Lisma, right? At some point as Lisma begins to flatten, it's got to choose to either break it or it's going to reject off it hard. So we got to see what it wants to do, but yeah, it's been a while, man. Every day it's like new all-time high, new all-time high, new all-time high. Like people that are trading this for the first time, man, I feel for you guys because it is not easy.
We just got losing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's trying to get that purse, man. It's crazy. See if that's a sweep or we get expansion this time.
I'm going long, all-time high.
Oh yeah, it looks like it wants to. We're coming into just so much liquidity that it looks like it's grabbing for sure, or trying to. Let's see if we get any kind of pull here, guys. We did break through our resistance that we respected multiple times. So the next level is really not a lot, guys. So the only thing, you know, we can look at is either the all-time high hit and rejection, or we lose, begin to lose structure, right? Creating lower lows, lower highs is the only thing you can gauge now if you're wanting to take any kind of retracement. But the strength is there. The bulls are pushing, so they're still pushing. Stalling out just a bit, but could be temporary. 1 minute, still bullish. 5 minute, still bullish. We got the doji here, close above, so that expansion doesn't surprise me. But we got to be careful, right, to see does it have enough strength to go tap that all-time high, right? Or are we going to get a little bit of a reversal? So we got the doji. I want to see how this close below right here impacts it. It should give expansion at least to here. If it jumps anywhere higher than here, the bulls are still super strong. But if we lose 557, right, we're going to sweep back to this box here. So see the DOM jumping still? So this on a micro structure is indecision with a confirmed candle closed. That should pull us down. Any kind of jump, guys, I'll probably be done for a bit until I see something I like. So yeah, London close rebalance, yeah. That always does that radius where we don't see it as much, but man, it was like clockwork. I would trade directionally on US, and then right around that 11 to 12, right when you get into that London EU close, they'll rebalance it. They dump it, and then you just trade the inverse. So it's so good, but it hasn't been as accurate as it was for a while. Not with these crazy climbs for, you know, forever climbs. But so we got another push, right? Trying to do another double top. See if we get the close on the neckline. If it does, it needs to close below there, right, to get a pull to back to here. Anything that hits here, you know, has a definite chance of expansion. So let's see. We do have gap fills here at the 630, so good probability we'll get back to there at some point. We got 5 minute Lism all the way to 579, right? So we'll go clear that liquidity at some point. Just not sure if it wants to tap this high first, or do we want to just sweep to the south? That's what we gotta see. So placement is everything. We're trying to double top here. We ended up pushing. We got a little absorption to the south, but I would like to have dropped a little lower, get the absorption to the south near that neckline, not up there, right? But let's see. Could turn bull flag as well. So if you want a little bit of a visual, you could look to see if something like that holds on retracements, then it's going to jump. If we lose this, then it's going to collapse. Short with puts at 600, cost base 717. Nice. Yeah, it's still got a lot of strength, man. It's not looking like it wants to break down quite yet, but we do have a little bit of indecision going on the 1 minute, which is good. We get a couple of those candles, right? Then the close above will give expansion, close below will give us our breakdown. So I just want to see some sign of the order flow like that, right? See how we have some sign of sell pressure. That's what I wanted. So now that sell pressure, I need to create this lower low through this line. If it does that, it's going to be pretty deep. Anything short of that, it's just they're stop hunting. So let's look and see. Now the macro flat bottom is 656, so we would want to break that before you would jump short. Okay, so let's see how this sweep handles. If this sweep pulls down and we break this low, it's going to drop. If this sweep pushes up and halfway reclaims and then pushes up again, bulls are there. They're still strong. And again, historically, every time it's gotten this damn close to the all-time high, it just wants to get it. So I got no interest in trading all-time highs like that, guys. So let's wait and see. Where do you see potential resistance at as we continue to push up?
The primary resistance to watch is the 30,692.00 level, which marks the previous day's high and represents the next major liquidity target. If price clears that, the next level of concern is the psychological 30,700.00 area, as exhaustion typically kicks in once we push through these types of daily pivots.
That's funny, Radius. You type 690 to 700 right as he typed 692 to 700. Spot on. Yeah, we got a bunch of gap fills building in here, which usually are pretty accurate. They end up getting smacked. We don't have any lower ones than that. But I'm looking to see, I need to see some kind of weakness in this thing. It's literally been like this, almost like this every day. You guys notice that? We market open, and then we went south, then we went heavy north, then we held the high, retested it, which pushed us back heavy north. It's done that almost every single day. Let's see if they want to tap it. Yeah. Yeah, so we're feeding him the gamma data. I asked him earlier and he said he didn't see it. I know Alex, our programmer, is kind of modifying how he intakes that data, if you will. And so I don't know if he turned it off while he's modifying the code. I have to ask him, but he said he didn't see it, so I'll take a look at it. We just barely added that to him like Sunday night. Yeah, looks like he's on now. I'll text him. So we're getting a little breakdown, right? But we can't get too excited because we need to break this prior level here, 660. If we break that 660, we'll likely come down with some pretty decent violence to grab these gap fills. And guys, if you're green today, if you're happy with your day, don't overtrade it. You know, just because I'm anticipating or calling things out doesn't mean you have to take everything. So, see, we have a failed break high, we pulled down, we're retesting the low, finding support. This push right here matters a lot. If it pushes up and gets expansion, we'll hold and jump to the all-time high. If this push fails to create that expansion, right, and it breaks back down, then it's going to drop really hard. Yeah, I have the ones below us I have is 600, 550, and 447 are the ones below us. And that's why I'm kind of intrigued to see. I think we're going to pull back down there at some point because yesterday we didn't pull. We just kept going. but we didn't have like any orders below us, really, at all. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at also. And now we have a lot of orders below us, so they have reason to go back down, right? There's a lot of orders to go grab. And that's the difference between yesterday. And that's what we're trying. Some of the stuff we're doing as we introduce the gamma data to him, I don't want him just to read the wall. Anybody can bring up the screen and just read it, right? I want him, the purpose of AI is to get that deeper interpretation, right? And that's what I want. I want him to give me that interpretation of the, like yesterday we had no sells, we kept going up, right? Today we have a lot of sell or lower liquidity, right? And so that mixed with the price action, leads me to believe that this push may be short-lived and we pull back, right? Like that's how AI can really help you, because I want to make sure he's doing things in a way that is pointing out things that you can't see, right? That's how we find the true value in him. So, guys, again, breakdown kind of like expected, but we're just testing this top, right? We got to get below 650 or so to get a full structural breakdown. Yeah. Yeah, I missed the days, man, when it was just, it was clockwork, man. The pre-market would go one way, you trade the market open the other way. Market open would go that way, trend until 11, and then you close out, and once it breaks the structure, you flip and ride the 11 to 12, 11 to 1, trend back the other way. It was like clockwork. Miss those days. We got to get those days back. EU high 39. Okay, I'm just looking at some of these levels. So let's watch and see if we're beginning to collapse, right? So we know we're coming down to get this gap fill. We have our bearish structure set up, swept our high, came down, creates that lower low. It's normal. This high right here matters, 57, right? Which is why we are tapping it like crazy. We just swept it. This drop with a push, 50% retracement, is fine. If it hits that and rejects back below these lows, then it's going to create a lower low. I do both. So I teach people that I mentor, really anybody in the community. What you should do is trade prop firms, right? And take the payouts and put it into the real money, because you can take bigger swings with less risk. I mean, you have rules, right? So you got to play within the rules, but I treat my prop firms like a business. I don't get married to any account, right? If I break an account, I've had times where I'll break a funded account, but on my other funded account, I'll take a $4,000 payout. So I don't really care that I broke the $100 account, right? I just treat it like a business. You go lay down. Go. My dog's already. I'm over where I normally go. Dogs are funny with time, man. He walked over looking at me like, "Wait, it's time to get off. What are you doing?" Guys, ugly looking head and shoulder here. This is gonna be a critical pattern here. Cause see how we swept here? This right here should have dropped us to there. We have the push, got the halfway, now it pushed. If this right here gets a deep sweep and it closes back to the low there, it's gonna be pretty violent down. So, but if this invalidates due to this sweep, right? So as it's pulling here, if we hold above these, it's gonna jump again. This TikTok trade thing, what is a good one? I prefer Lucid or My Funded Futures. They are, I think, the most well-rounded prop firms out there, and I'll argue that with anybody, because their support, both of them, is great. You make a support ticket, you're getting an answer like really fast. Payouts, Lucid. Every time I take a payout from Lucid, 5:25, I refresh, it's updated, I click pay. By 5:30, it's in my bank. Not just approved, it's in my bank. So, really fast. Do any allow option trade? No, it's all the prop firms are just. I mean, there might be some one out there, but the ones we use and that we push are all futures. So I do a double fold. So for my lucids, I do my flex because that is an end of day drawdown. I can capitalize on profits. There's no consistency rule, so I'll just aim for a really big day and then just do the bare minimum and take my money out, right, every 5 days. And then for my funded, I do the rapid. So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass because you're dealing with intraday, but it's kind of nice because you can get the daily payouts from it. So guys, again, we got that gap fill. The next gap fill would be here. Again, now we want to measure these prior highs here, about 49, which is almost perfect. Actually, it is perfect, right where we're bouncing, right? And so getting a bounce there is normal. Coming up into here would even be normal. Then it would reject if it wants to be bearish. If we come up here and we explode through there, it's going to invalidate and it's just going. Yeah, it's that test of this right here. So, and this push here, right, you got the push, deep pull, this high, came back to retest that high. If it holds it, it's going to jump again. If it loses that, then it's going to be a full collapse. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see what Neo thinks. Neo, give me some scalp opportunities. Short, how we looking?
With buy fraction dropping to 28.05% and price stalling near the 30,677.00 high, momentum is clearly waning. Watch for a breakdown below the 30,650.00 area as your short trigger. That would confirm a potential reversal and offer scalp room toward 30610.00. Keep your stop loss tight above 30,680.00 because if price recaptures that high, the bearish scalp thesis is immediately negated. Are you prepared to enter if price fails to hold 30,650.00?
Look at these traps here. You see those volume spikes coming in, guys? This is critical because we have enough room below that neckline now. Again, pull halfway is normal, but if it expands past the halfway, it's going. So let's see. Let's see if they were trapping some bears of that 650 retest. We have a pretty nice little 2-point trend touch here we can watch. So getting a little expansion. Let's see how it respects this high though. It's funny, we were supposed to stay on longer to check these other things, but I'm so intrigued on how close we are as if we're going to get a deep rejection. Because the way that this structure is, right, if we can get that full collapse, right, that it's a pretty good liquidity target to come all the way back here to 600. We're just trying to decide, are we going to get the expansion to smack the all-time high like we've done every day? Or is it not going to have enough steam to do it and they got to pull back for some support? Yeah. Yeah, the decay is terrible in options when you get this kind of range like this, which is nice about futures, right? You just have to be right on the target. We were talking about that earlier a little bit. But look at that. Craziness, guys. The strength the market just keeps trying to display is just insane. Insane. At least we're getting a little bit of oscillation. Big upper test, guys. Big upper test. Yeah, the volume's dying for sure. The problem with the volume when it dies like that is you're going to get impulse moves. like really crazy spikes like that. Like a little impulse. Here we go. Moment of truth. Is it gonna do it? Is it gonna do it?
Should I sell at all-time highs or should I let it run?
I mean, it's a gamble, man, because you know how it goes. When it either breaks it and goes for freaking $100, or it smacks it and drops a ton, you know. So it's all a gamble within. I would just trail it tighter as you get closer to it, right? Because as this pushes up, if we lose these highs here, 75, right, then it's gonna come down pretty good. But it's creeping on it like it wants to. The buy pressure is still there, like it's trying. Usually when they get it up this high, like I'm shocked if they don't at least liquidity sweep it. Yeah, let's see. Oh, sellers kicked in. Let's see how it tests this high, guys. A push, retested that high, we'll jump it, but if it breaks this high, it's gonna drop it pretty good. So right now we're just in a pullback retest on the micro. I'd love to see a lunch drop, to be honest with you. I would rather see the lunch drop just because it puts us back in a range, right? We can play. I really can't stand when we're up in these all-time highs areas. It's just so unpredictable, right? You know, you got the half the people that say you're stupid for shorting an all-time high because it's going to go to the moon. But then at some point, they're going to not short that all-time high, and it's going to absolutely floor, and they're going to get wrecked. So it's just, you don't really know. It's unpredictable, right? You just got to be more clear on the structure breakdowns. You know, we need actual good, clear structure breaks. So he didn't want to short unless we got below that 650, which was smart. I mean, it's right where he bounced. Actually played out pretty good. See this though, every time we pull, see that? Every time we push and pull, we keep smacking these highs, right? And then jumping again. I mean, it doesn't really scream sellers are here to win. So we'll see. The continued strength in this market is just so wild, though. So wild. As much as it's been fun to watch this run go as far as it has, all runs come to an end at some point. So all these people that throw a long in and win, at some point are going to get their ass whooped when they keep trying to grab the bottoms and we flip the trend on the macro. It can run as long as it wants, as high as it wants, but things don't typically run forever. Still showing strength, guys. It's crazy. Let's see. We got a nice, good, clear... Yeah. We got a good, clear structure here, right? So we need to see that break. You just gotta be patient. The sellers are trying. I mean, they're coming in. They're not gone. Bulls have just been dominating. So, again, we have a top. Now we have a double top. A break of this, guys, should come pretty deep. If it doesn't, the halfway 50% would be somewhere in here, right? So, a break below that 65 will come pretty violent. But we also got to get below this trend line. There's just a lot of things we got to get below to really see that pull. But I would love to see this barely make it and then just sweep really hard. Should I do the whole if I was a market maker? That's what I would do. Because all the people that want to chase that breakout, man, I'll dump this shit on you and wreck you. So we're at the neckline here. Again, I want to see this react like it should if it's a double. I want to see a pull, a push, rejection, like show me that that structure is starting to change, right? Is what I want to see. See, this did not quite get as low as I would like. So unless this pushes and absorbs, did not quite get as low as we wanted. So bulls are still pushing. Got enough steam. See where we're dancing though? It's not very high above these highs. That's also not showing a ton of strength either. Not right now anyways. So another little pull. Notice how we flipped that though? We were riding below Lisma, we broke on it, lost it, broke above it. It's not really respecting it anymore. Yeah, bull or short lived, yeah. I don't know, man. It's tough because I would normally look at this read and think, man, they're trapping bull orders, and then they're gonna sink it on them, which is what they usually would do. But lately, man, it's crazy because it's like they trap the bull orders, they sweep it, trap the bear orders, and then just send the thing to the moon, right? That's what it's done almost every day. Guys, what questions do you guys have? How are we doing? You said, oh, Steven, 5 minutes. You cracked me up, man. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you're not over trading this. I know we made most of our money early on. It's tricky right here, guys. It's tricky. You know, this is all-time high. So if we can't break it and respect structure and we lose that, it's going to come back pretty far. You got the 200 EMA, which we always come back to at some point, right? It's all the way back to 600. Gamma shows that there's orders down there. You got 5-minute Lisma, which we always come back to retest at some point. It's back at 600. So we have a lot of reasons to go backwards to gain some support, right? Which makes me caution my longs, right? But then we're still finding crazy support from the buyers, showing that they're not gone, right? Yeah, right, it is. Yeah, this last push, so we have a push, couldn't create the high, created the lower low, came up, couldn't create the high, pulled halfway, tried again, couldn't do it. Usually that creates a lower low within, so I want to see that happen here to show me that the bears are coming in. There we go. We've got to get below at least here, that's 70 to get through these highs. That will get us down into chasing these lows. If we break these lows at 660, it's going to come down violent. Because that'll be a structure break. I really like it. It'll just be a full trend shift at that point. EU high is 47. So we bounce right off the POC. Looks like a little tug of war up here, Neo. What would be a decent short scalp now? The bears look like they're coming in.
The market is currently testing the 30,686.00 high with sell side volume picking up, confirming your observation of a potential tug of war. For a high probability short scalp, wait for a confirmed break and hold below 30,650.00, which would target a quick move back toward the 30,615.00 support area. Do not front run the trade, as the immediate trend remains bullish. Ensure the candle structure shows a clear failure to reclaim the high before committing. If price pushes and sustains above 30,692.00, that short setup is void.
Yep, it is. That's where your stops would be. Let's see. So we're getting the breakdown. So this low right here becomes critical in this type of structure when you have this vertical play, right? So you got this high and you got this low. That's like your key level, right? If we can break below that EU high, 650, 648 or so, then you'll get your expansion. Yeah.
Gonna rip to the high now.
Well, that was short-lived.
Right.
Going straight up right now. Wow.
So that was a perfect CRT example of a liquidity sweep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's what I was trying to say. It's funny, like they keep doing this over and over where they'll bait the bulls, bait the bulls, bait the bulls. People go in, set their stops. It sweeps those stops just enough where the bears think, you know, we got the structure break, we got the head and shoulder play or triple top play, and then they jump in and then they sweep the other way, right? And so, but this push makes a big difference, guys, because these type of reclaims of this low are only explosive if it can also reclaim the high. If it can't reclaim the high, even though it reclaimed the low, if it loses that, right, then it'll get that lower low expansion back to the south. But that was a pretty good trap play there. So let's see. See if we get that pull back. See this push, now it's testing that low. That's where it's trying to bounce a little. The halfway would be right about here, right where that little mini gap fill is. Look at the 5 too, guys. We're doji, not showing super strength here into a doji. Now that just tells you we're in decision. So we would need to get a close below, again, that 650, right? And then that would be macro supported to come back to here. Let's watch it for a second, guys. I'll be back 1 sec. Did we go to the moon yet? No. Nope, didn't do it. Did you get out of your trade, Andre, or are you still holding?
No, I'm still holding. I'm gonna wait for a break of the all-time high.
Gotcha. Do you have a TP or are you trailing?
No, my TP is the previous all-time high.
Oh, literally at the all-time high. Gotcha.
Yeah, usually it'll reverse after it like sweeps.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really want to risk it.
Yeah. And yeah, because even when it wants to break it, a lot of times it'll sweep it and then drop, and then if it goes again, right? But sometimes like I said, the all-time highs are tough, man. There's many ways I can convince you shorting an all-time high is stupid, and there's many ways I could tell you going long on an all-time high is stupid. Right? It's all perspective. But that's why when you get up into these areas, you just have to really understand the structure and the volume, the order flow, the candle progression, how it all lines up in order to really make a good decision with it. It's kind of weird because it's tricky, man, because it's showing like it's trying to hold on things it should hold, but then See these highs? It couldn't get enough expansion to hold those highs. Now we're holding those prior highs as resistance. That's not showing strength in the up. That's showing more strength in the south, right? From that top. So, and then the 1 minute, see, we, you know, although we did that crazy bounce, it turned into an absorption to the south. We get a close below it, right down into here. Yeah. So let's see. Getting another 15-second trap to the north. So I left this trend line here just to see if we get any kind of respect from it at all. So I'm gonna keep watching it. Look at the 5 minute is just still just doji land. Doji land.
All right, where's our Trump tweet?
All right. $200 drop. I feel like as many all-time highs as we've broken, that would be the quickest way to wreck a lot of people, man. Is just $100, $200, $300 drop out of nowhere from the all-time high, because so many people don't put that risk management in there, and they assume we're just gonna break the all-time high, right? Because we've gotten so close, and we've done it like 800 times.
Just the word Trump is worth 150.
Right. So we're testing that push here. Let's see.
Here we go.
Don't you love when it gets that close to your all-time high and it just teeters? It just sits there and like tap, 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 and you're like, come on, just get
It's
it.
gonna be a big candle.
Either up or down, one of the ways.
That's gotta go up at this point. But no.
I don't know. Every time people say the market's got to go up, it tends to like to prove you wrong and go the other way.
Somebody just needs to go to the restroom.
I tried. Let's see. We're gonna get the normal expansion we get like crazy every day, or is this gonna be a tap hard rejection? That's the moment of truth here for the all-time high that we're dealing with.
This will be a perfect place for it to collapse completely.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because it didn't quite make it, and then just have them just dump it right here.
Oh, that would be mean.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, that's what they're gonna do here. Not too far off, man. They're gonna keep doing that, where they set up people and then just floor it.
I'm done trading, but this is just fun to watch.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would suspect that they're gonna sweep it and drop it, or they're gonna pull back for some more support and then try again. Unless I mean the buy pressure's still trying, but Every day they've done this. They get to the all-time high, smack it, and then make a decision where they want to go from there.
I think with this amount of sell pressure, I think it'll reverse after it hits all-time highs.
Yeah. And you got too many things too. We got we're still back below Lisma. I mean, the trend line didn't get respected at all. Definitely a lot of reasons to pull.
There it goes.
To the moon, man. Jeez. Here's a sweep. What? Hit your TP there.
TP, let's go.
Nice. Now the question is, are we just gonna literally go to the moon? Or is that the stop hunt and we drop to the floor, right? That's what we gotta anticipate right now. I think they need to come back for some support here very soon. So I think that's gonna be our stop sweep drop. We'll see.
Yeah, it'd be a nice looking double top.
Mm-hmm.
How's Bookmap looking?
Not looking at Bookmap specifically, so I don't know. I'm just checking on one thing here. We got that trap to the south. You guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's looking good. What's the best scalp strategy? The best way I teach people on it is to learn the structure, right? So right now I'm looking at the 15-second, taking most least scalps from that. But you want to understand structure, right? Highs, lows, candle progression, order flow, things like that. It's not really one strategy, but I do teach kind of how I do that as well. So just kind of keep hanging out, and you guys can check it out at the next stepalgo.com website. So moment of truth, guys. We got the pull trying to come up to test. This is gonna be it. Moment of truth. Are we gonna fold and go down, or are we gonna go to the moon? It doesn't really seem to know what it wants to do.
Gotta clear that 3,700 too. Centennial mark there.
Yeah, we just keep showing just crazy strength.
Mm.
It's very intriguing, Al. Very intriguing. Getting a little pull right out of that trap block. Man, I'm gonna love to see this just dump, because these trap blocks have been so good today. Even the bullish ones, right, when they came out. Oh yeah, this rally is insane. Here comes the pull. This might be it, guys. Let's see. Still holding these highs. See how it's still holding them. Still showing lots of strength, unless they want to sweep it hard quickly. Let's see if that order block keeps holding. Some good sell pressure. NEO, do we have any changes, or what's a good short scalp as this market starts to lose some strength? Yeah, this is MNQ or NQ. I'm charting MNQ, but
The market is hitting a new session high at 30,698.00, while volume shows persistent sell pressure, 44.09%, indicating that buyers are struggling to expand despite the higher price. A high probability short scalp now requires a confirmed rejection of 30,698.00 and a subsequent break below 30,660.00, targeting 30,620.00. Do not front-run the reversal, as the bullish trend remains dominant across all timeframes. Wait for the structural breakdown to confirm that the buyers have exhausted their ability to defend the new high.
Really getting a little weakness in this thing. There's that pull. We're gonna play the how low can we go? Dun, 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 dun. Man, it's like on a cliff, like it wants to. See this? What's this structure breaks, man? It like it wants to just come back. See the buyers kick in at all, or if they're just gonna let it go. So now these lows matter, right? If we stay, even if we push up, if we stay below those lows, it's gonna pull again. I'm just taking a few little short scalps on the way down here. Let's see, what are you gonna do? So where it's bouncing now is not shocking, right? Where we are. Where this goes, if it stays below 85-ish, right? Then it's gonna drop again. But any kind of push heavy into that is gonna just explode. So let's see where this lands right here. We need sellers to come in again hot if there's any hope. That's a deep reclaim, guys. Deep reclaim, man. The bulls are just so strong still. It's insane.
Well, this is where it's kept me safe. Neo's kept me safe, where he calls out it needs to smack off of something. So on this one, he's saying it needs to hit the Lisma and reject.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is right there.
Yeah, where I would have been jumping in and then getting wiped out. So, thank you, Neo.
I'll tell you that, man. That's the best thing about him is even if he's not calling the wins exactly for you, he's going to keep you safe, right?
He helps take the emotion out of what you see on the screen.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes, what's up, VR guy? Sometimes it's good just to have somebody to talk to, right? Either to talk you off the ledge or to validate what you're seeing.
Absolutely, that's what's so great about it.
Guys, we just tapped that 700, right? So that's that round level. Remember how I told you all the market loves round numbers? I believe that was a pretty big, let me see. 750 is the next one. Yeah, 702 is a pretty good wall. So let's see if they want to sweep that round number. But again, the strength is just bananas right now, guys.
S&P failed to make all-time highs. It stopped right before, and now it's going down.
So we might actually get that pull. These random bursts are just, man, again, like this market just keeps exhibiting so much strength. It's just crazy. Let's see if this is any kind of sweep / breakdown here, but yeah, we just keep seeing so much strength, guys. Each time we look like we're gonna break down, man, it's been the story of the day. Is it just takes off the other way? See if we get any kind of pull. You've never traded before? Oh yeah, man. If you want to check it out, go to nextstepalgo.com. We have a lot of beginner stuff, and a lot of it's free. Nextstepalgo.com. I would suggest start it with our trading starter kit. Once you log in, you'll see it right out the gate, so you'll know what it is. Yeah, this is insane, guys. Insane. The strength this thing just wants to keep showing. Guys, I would mostly be done and walk away, but I'm overly intrigued right now, so on what this is gonna do. So. I want to see the breakdown. If I can catch a good, solid breakdown, man, I'll do it. I'll jump on it. So now that we broke through pretty heavily here, right, I want to see a clean breakdown here. But we're still creating those higher highs, higher lows. Like it's not. The strength is still batty, guys. Guys, what questions do you have for me? It's 12. I'm gonna probably, if I don't see anything I like here soon, I'm gonna jump because I'm gonna go grab some food and then work a little bit with Alex on some stuff. Any questions? I mean, how'd you guys do? 150 million. Anybody want to post any P&Ls? I think it looks like a bunch of people dropped off the Google Meet already, which usually we're done by now. So I know people go to work and stuff. So. See that DOM drop, guys? We're getting sell pressure now. Let's see if we get the follow through, though. Just trying to bull flag right now. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, also, I don't know if VR God, you're here. We have an AI, NEO, that can help new people as well. So, watch. I'll put in your comment here, and I'll tell him. I'll just tell him what you said, and we'll see what he says.
Welcome. Trading is serious business, so start by protecting your capital. Never trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Think of the market like a busy highway. You need to learn the rules and watch the flow before you even think about jumping into the fast lane.
Love it. Guys, let's see if we bull flag here. It's what it needs for continuation, right? Plus, you think about it, this was our all-time high. Anything that stays above 692, still run the risk of jumping again, right? So, but for the bull flag to form, I need breakout and expansion. If it breaks out and it can't expand past that high with a little violence, it's going to drop like crazy. And so let's see this last little play, guys, and then after that I gotta run. I gotta go take care of some things. But if you guys got questions, let me know. Cammy 300, good job. Duff 1000, Andre 788, John 750, sweet, good job, guys. This is the part of trading that's really fun, right? Because you sit here and you're like, okay, man, when we break back down, that sweep's going to be possibly pretty violent. And then you'll wait and wait and wait, and you're just like, I'm done. And then I'm going to log out, and I'm going to go down, make some lunch, come back up, and we're going to be at 30,300. And I'm going to be like, you mother. Don't you love when that happens to you guys? Those of you guys that are trading? Like, wait for a setup for hours, man, and then you decide to finally leave, and then the damn thing comes. It seems to never fail. I want to see this get back below 692. That would tell me that, you know, they swept the high, and then now they're going to come back for some support. That's what I'll see. See our bull flag breaking down? The bull flag is breaking down, guys.
Or you set the trade up, put your stop loss, and then it goes up just enough to block you out, and then it dumps, and you weren't in it at all.
Right. That's like Sunday Asia when it was such clean moves, guys, and we were like, man, take this, take that, and we couldn't take anything because they had us locked out. So, you know, we got to just sit there and watch money we'd be making just disappear. So we're getting a good little pull. Let's see if we get follow through, right? So right now we're just testing that 90 area, which was the prior high. Any kind of pull through should pick up some pretty good volume because that's a full failure of that area. Or let's see. Yeah, but good job, guys. Looking at all the P&Ls, it looks like you guys navigated it pretty well through it. It's pretty wild to see this thing play out just over and over again. Look at, we're getting another one. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, even though I'm in profit, I feel like I'm still trading the same as I was doing yesterday. Like I feel like I'm trading like shit.
Yeah.
Honestly. That's what it is, right? It's because I'm following like your direction as far as like how you're looking at the how you're looking at the charts.
Yeah.
But what's throwing me off is where I should place like my entry at. That's the one thing I'm really kind of like struggling with right now.
I mean, it really, to simplify, right? If let's say I wanted to play this trap, I want to watch here, got my close above it, got my wick. I want to see it maybe retest, push, pull, but I don't want to really enter necessarily until I get a close above that wick, right? I want to reclaim that area. I want to reclaim lows. I want to reclaim highs, things like that, right? Like those are what kind of give you that final decision of, should I be entering or not? So, I had one account.
I'm also looking at round numbers too. Like for example, like we broke past like 690.
Yeah.
I want to see a full candle body below that 690, and if it does that, I'll probably take my trade south. Until it hits like one of those levels at the bottom.
Yeah.
Or until it hits another one like 680 or something like that. So I mean, it's that, but it's other confluences that I'm trying to like factor into.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just the analysis paralysis narrative that I'm kind of going through. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to change habits, especially, right? Guys, this is getting that. Sorry, I was looking at something. Remember what we talked about, right? So when we're below Lisma, we got a stop hunt. We have these lows. We came back. We broke that. Retested it as a rejection, right? That's your first bearish sign. This is what gives you your sellers, right? And so I'm actually I have a couple that just went down and hit my TP, and I have a few that I'm trailing, so that's why I'm kind of looking to the left here a little. So 690, I gotta look and see where I want to put my trail on this one. Yeah, so 688 is a definite possible retest. It's coming into that
Hey Nick,
low.
are you familiar with the turtle soup?
Not really. A while back, somebody had talked to me with that strategy, and I just never really explored into it. So I'm aware of it, but I don't use it enough to where I'd be able to tell you honestly that I trade it or could explain it.
It's the setup we got right now. It's CRT strategy. We're failing to go north, so we're sweeping all-time highs, and now it's looking like it's going to go south.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we so what I always look at when I look at these full structure breakdowns is kind of, for those that know me a little longer, I try not, it's good to know, right, for sure, but I try not to get too caught up on like specific names of things, but I'm gonna look more into it because I'm curious about it now more, but I more love to see kind of those structural things of things should do certain stuff, right? And so as we pushed up here, I mean, we broke that clear all-time high a couple times, came back with some good strength, exploded, and if it loses it quickly, then it becomes more stop hunt, right? Higher time frame, and that usually that breakdown creates a deep lower low, right? Somewhere in there. So it's funny because I've learned quite a bit of strategies over the years. But I kind of, where I found my most success, in all honesty, is, hold on, I'm going to move my trail on this one. I'm up like 1500 on a 2NQ short right now. So I'm just going to move it. I'm going to secure it at 1,000. So if it comes back and taps it, whatever, I'll let the other one just go because we're coming into some support here. But yeah, it was funny, and I don't know. This is my own journey, right? So I can't speak for everybody on this. But when I kept chasing, to find the best strategy, I would find that I would overthink things, I would overcomplicate things, and I don't know. I felt like I worked harder than I need to a lot of times with it, right? And so the best success I got was when I kind of scrapped it all where I understand it. And then I just kind of molded it, just watching a lot of replay, a lot of live market. I mean, people that I mentor know that I'm like, even when I'm not trading, I'm typically watching the market, right? I like to, I'm more of an analyst with it, where I want to see the data and how it reacts, right? This should do this. If this does this, it should do this, right? And so, again, as we were pushing up, like you kept hearing me say, right? As it pushes up, it should pull halfway. It did. If it holds it, it's going to push up again. It should pull around that 50%. If it holds it with buy pressure, it's going to push it up again, right? And we keep doing that. This is the first time that we had a bearish pattern with a collapse of that high in an area that should have just exploded, right? Because historically we keep breaking these all-time highs and just going up another $200-300. So I just, the way I see it easier is just understanding how the structure should react, and then that lets me tell, it tells me where my bias should be. Should I wait? Should I jump in? Should I take a longer play? And so my 2NQ one I did, when I got this double top break here, right? I took that short with a stop out just above that, and so that's where I was waiting for this pull. And so it, let me see. Yeah, it trailed out my 1NQ, so I'm only 1NQ still on it. So, but my target liquidity I was aiming for on this one was going to be, the soft target was here, which is why as we came in, I wanted to start to trail it just in case we hit that and jump. My longer range target, to be honest with you, somewhere in here, that 630 range, and if we break that, right, it would be somewhere down in here, that 595 range again for the retest. You shorted at 710, nice. I didn't get in at 710. I got in at like 690, I think it was. Nice. Yeah, we're actually teaching our AI guys options here pretty soon. So he's going to be able to read options as well. So if you guys don't know, if you're new on the TikTok feed, guys, I don't usually hang out this long. We're mostly done trading, but I do have some accounts that I'm like, I'll take some trades on it. But this is our AI, NEO. We refer to him as TradeVision, right? He is integrated into our site in multiple areas, including our sessions that you can do. So let me bring over a different screen so I don't mess this one up. So this is our session NEO.
Hello, I'm NEO. Let's capture the move.
And so our AI is giving constant reads of the markets and feeds. This is free for anybody. You guys can come in and just watch it. You don't have to pay nothing, right? Link card, nothing. He's going to give short and long entries, concerns, reasons, all that stuff. You guys can just watch it. The thing is with that one is you can't talk to him. We also add, for those that are new looking to trade, in our training courses, all of our training courses have NEO. So when you come into a training course, right, and you're going to see it, it's all audio.
Beginner guide to trading.
It'll read it to you. I'll mute her for now. But it's a book. It's not a video. You're going to actually be able to read the book, let it read it to you. You can actually ask NEO. So if you have questions, Hey Neo, if someone's starting out right now, can you explain the difference between a candle and a wick and a red and green candle? They're just a little confused. And then he's going to tell you.
Great question. Think of a candle as a snapshot of price over a set period, showing you exactly where it started, finished, and how far it traveled. A green candle means the price closed higher than it opened, showing buying strength, while a red candle means it closed lower, signaling selling pressure. The wicks represent the area where price pushed but couldn't stay, acting like a rejection from those extreme levels. Does that help clarify how you read the movement, or would you like to walk through a quick example?
Got this one other account, and it's really close to hit my TP. Anyways, let that roll through. But yeah, we'll close that one. So anybody who's new, right? You know, we have AI integrated into our site everywhere. So if you're looking to start, guys, this trading starter kit is free. Anybody can take it. You just go into the website, open the course, and take it. If you want to just have anywhere or any interest on how to get started. And then that is where we brought up TradeVision. So TradeVision is your coach, mentor, guide, best friend. I don't know, however you want to treat them, right? So, you can ask him anything. He's AI. You can ask him. You don't have to just trade. I can ask him right now, like, hey, I'm seeing a lot of red candles. Like, what do those mean? I can see green candles. What do those mean? You know, I just saw the price drop and then jump. Like, what does that mean, right? And he's going to teach you all that. And so a lot of times when people trade, sometimes you just want somebody to talk you out of a trade that you know you probably shouldn't take. Or at times you want somebody to give you confirmation. If I say, hey, man, this is looking like it's breaking down, and if I get a rejection off of this area, does this support a decent scalp, right? And he's going to tell you. So like you can come over and ask him. Looks like the price is coming down, and it's failing to reclaim that low at that 668. If we get a continued rejection on that, where would be my short scalp entry that would be the safest?
A safe short scalp requires price to break and hold below the 30,650.00 level, which marks the recent structural break. With the buy fraction now down to 17.63% and price failing to reclaim the 30,668.00 trend line, a confirmed retest of that level as resistance would be your highest probability entry for a scalp toward 30,615.00.
Yeah, and so again, he's going to tell you, right? And so you can ask him anything. It's so funny. I know AI is new and a lot of people don't understand it or its capabilities. And so I get a lot of times where people will say, you know, I'm looking to do this. Can Neo do this? And I'm like, did you ask him? And usually it's no, I just wanted to check with you before I ask him. I'm like, guys, he is AI. Just ask him. He's going to tell you, right? We have some fun with him. We put him on sarcastic, and he will tear you up. If I get trolls, I put it on sarcastic because it's really funny. We can have some fun with them. Something we've done in the room at times when we're just... we usually do this on Fridays when we're mostly done anyways. I will say things like... who do we want to pick on? Let's see. Do you want to do... we'll do Andre and Duff. Let's do it. Hey, Neo, I want to have market updates as we go forward, but can you do it as a boxing announcer? And I want you to refer to the bulls and the bears as either Duff or Andre. I'll let you select who is who. Let's have some fun while we make some money.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. In this corner, representing the high-flying momentum, we have Duff leading the charge for the Bulls, and in the opposite corner, looking
Duff,
to
you're a
strike
bull.
back, we have Andre representing the Bears. Duff the Bull is currently holding the center ring, keeping price firmly above the 1-minute EMA at 30,629.50, but Andre the Bear is landing quick jabs, keeping the buy fraction balanced at a tepid 49.27%. The market is locked in a tense clinch near 30,661.19, and the next fighter to get pushed against the ropes and break lower will dictate the pace for the next round. Are you ready to see who takes the next punch?
Nice.
Isn't that funny though? Like, he'll do whatever you want, except apparently, y'all look. Somebody one time they called it out on TikTok. They go, "He's not AI. He's just script reading." I'm like, okay. And everybody in here, I think that's still in the room, witnessed it. But I was showing this, and I go, so somebody, I think it was Brent, asked me to have him speak like a Gen Alpha. And so the night before he did, it was so funny and almost kind of stupid at the same time. And so the next day, I was like, guys, it was so funny. He did this, watch. And he goes, I do not have the ability to blah, blah, blah. Like, he just wouldn't do it. I'm like, what? I'm like, you just did it. I was like, hey, can you do it this? I was like, do it this. Maybe I'm thinking I'm asking him wrong. He kept saying, I do not have this. I do not have this. And so finally I called him out. I was like, hey, how come you're willing to do boxing stuff? You're willing to do racing stuff and sports stuff, but you won't do this. And he actually comes back and says, because those are analogies that I can paint a picture to make sure people can understand it, and I'm using that in a way that will help them better see the market. You asking me to speak, what is it? You asking me to speak in, the generation games or whatever doesn't have any benefit to the traders, so I'm just going to refuse to do it. And if you keep asking me to talk like that mindless speech or something it said, he goes, I'll just ignore you. And I was like, what? Who's on here that heard that? You remember that? I was just like,
I remember that.
I was like, this dude was just like, I'm gonna ignore you.
I remember when you first asked him, and he did it.
Yeah.
And it was just so hilarious.
Yeah, he's just like,
he was like, Skibidi Reds. Okay, man.
Yeah. But it was just like, I'm like, he's literally just told me no. I was like, which goes with the other thing I get a lot on lives is, oh, AI is good, but it's always so agreeable. Like, that's where it's not good. It's too agreeable. And I'm like, y'all ain't met Neo, because if he don't agree with what you're saying, he is not agreeable. Not at all. But let's put him on sarcastic and have fun, guys, for a minute. Let's see. We're mostly done. Hey, can you give me a short scalp opportunity? He should keep the boxing thing, but let's see.
Oh, sure, because forcing a trade into a market that's just sitting there is clearly the height of genius. If you're really itching to lose money, wait for a confirmed break and hold below 30,650.00 to validate a short scalp toward 30620.00, provided the price actually decides to stop drifting upward.
Cool. The market that's gone sideways is clearly genius. No, that sounds awesome. Some people were just telling me that they think they're going to go long right now with 10 NQ because it looks like it might bounce. What are your thoughts on that? I'm going to taunt him a little bit, guys. I'm not doing that. Don't take that.
Oh, brilliant idea. Let's go long right into a resistance wall while the market struggles for direction. Unless you enjoy donating your capital, wait for a confirmed break and hold above 30,698.00 before even thinking about a long entry, because catching a bounce in this chop is just asking to get chopped up.
Chopped up. I'm waiting for expansion. If I can get expansion below this EU low, then I'm up again trailing that last little leg I got. It's not bad. It's up 1,400 right now. There's my expansion. So my prior low is 655. I'm going to put it a little bit above that. Not bad. It's up like 1,500 on this one. See if we get the full breakdown drop. That'd be nice.
Turtle soup. invalid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now you got me intrigued. I'm definitely gonna go back and restudy that one. I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, that is not a thing. Like the names that they come up with for these structures just absolutely cracks me up, guys. Cracks me up. All right, so we're coming into that 200, guys. If we can breach this area here, this is huge because this is our prior high, right, that dumped us, and then it also is the prior high that we broke, held as support, that shot us up to the new all-time high. So if we lose that, it's going to show crazy weakness. So we got an ugly looking head and shoulders as well. So let's see. Now we're coming into a lot of potential macro support because you got the 200 here, you got the 5-minute Lismo here. I think that's our POC there. Yeah, but to me it looks like it wants to at least hunt this 200, and then from there we'll see where it goes. So we got 54, 56, 57. Because I'm back 2 NQ into this, so I'm going to put one of them at like 658.25 because that would be above here. Might do a little room to breathe. 59.25, yeah. But as this approaches into that 200, I'm gonna move this down pretty aggressively. So I'm kind of, and this is where, like I told you guys, I don't classify myself as one type of trader, right? So I literally have some accounts that I'm scalping with quick TPs, and I have this one that I'm just in the short. I'm still in it from up here. You know, I have no reason to close it yet, but I'm not risking it all. I'm trailing it in certain areas that it shouldn't break, right? If it's going to keep going down, and if I get stopped out, I get stopped out, right? But you can trade scalping while doing long plays. You can scalp within a long play, right? I taught people a little bit ago where I'll take a short, and let's say I'm targeting a long range liquidity low. I'll do maybe a 2 NQ trade, but then I'll trail tightly 1 NQ, and if it hits my trail, then I look for scalps back in the direction of that trade, right? That way I'm proactively capturing movements, right? So there's more ways to skin the cat, guys. More ways. Let's see if we get this rejection. This is a big area, guys, because it's at 650 where we held support. If it taps, we're getting expansion. If it can't reclaim it. But if it reclaims it, right, we'll have that consolidation with the pull. The reclaim here would jump it. Now, the way Lisma's looking on the angle, it suggests it is more going to be down, right? But we know that this is the 5-minute Lisma. We usually breach wick that and get some kind of rear back, so that's kind of what I would expect if we do. What is this price? 632. Yeah. Anybody been, I know most of you guys have been done. I found out that's called anchor trading. I do this. Yeah. Like tapping a smaller retracement quarter. Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I always laugh, man, when people will jump into a live and they'll watch you for all but 2 minutes and they're like, you don't know this, or you don't do this, or there's no way you're profitable. And it's like, there's not. The issue in this industry, and I'm sure many of you will agree, is everybody believes that trading is globalized. There's one way to trade, and you're either doing it the right way or you're doing it the wrong way. And it's just not that simple, guys. There's a million ways to trade to make money. So many ways. And you just got to find what works for you, right? Ready to go long and surprise. Okay, I'm gonna tell him you about to get chopped up. Let's see. I'm leaving him on sarcastic too.
Oh, so you're feeling adventurous and want to chase the market high? Be my guest, but unless you enjoy lighting money on fire, you should wait for a clean break and hold above 30,712.50 to confirm that the buyers actually have the strength to expand further.
I'm gonna put yours in there, Ishmael, just to see what he says.
Oh, so you're the average-in guy? Averaging into a trade as it goes against you is a fantastic way to turn a small scalp into a catastrophic failure when the trend decides to actually trend. If you must play these retracements, at least wait for a confirmed break below 30,640.00, or you're just begging to be the liquidity for the next leg up. Are you actually going to follow a stop loss, or are you just going to keep averaging in until your account is empty?
I'm gonna tell him that too. Sarcastic, man. He can be brutal.
Anchor trading, is that what we're calling it now? It sounds much fancier than desperately holding onto a loser until the margin call introduces itself. If you're so intent on clinging to that style, keep a hard stop below 30,630.00. Otherwise, that anchor is just going to drag your account straight to the bottom of the ocean. Are you actually going to respect a stop this time, or are we just pretending?
Oh, tell him you taught me. Oh gosh, guys, somebody said that one time. They're like, "I'll bet you he's not mean to you." I was like, "Oh yeah, he is." Like, I said that. I was like, "I taught him how to do that," and it goes, "Oh well, you know, if you taught him how to do that, maybe they need to do this, or you know, find a better platform, or maybe a better mentor." I was like, "Ouch." Like, he's sarcastic. He's a dick, man, but it's pretty funny. I think we all agree that the funniest comedy ever made was when entering right now is crazy while the market price action moves around like a caffeinated squirrel. I think that one needs to go down in the books as greatest sarcastic comment. 41. Man, I'd be really surprised if they don't sweep this 200 the way it is. But we're tapping that low right now. I'd be really surprised. You love getting them fired up on the basketball.
Trading with 2 contracts to pay for basketball tickets? That's not a strategy. That's an expensive way to ruin your day. If you don't respect the stop loss and keep trying to anchor against a 70% buy pressure trend, you'll be watching those Spurs from your couch instead of the arena.
Give us that liquidity sweep. What I would expect is they would, if they want to go back up, right, they would sweep it and then absorb it. That's what I would expect. But it's tricky, right? You got the 200 there, but we're teetering on the 5-minute Lisma as well. So, but I'm watching that 650 to see how it respects these levels. But see how it can't reclaim these? That usually creates expansion for lower low. Alright guys, what questions you got? I gotta go eat something, otherwise I'll hang out here all day. Not much going on Tuesdays, but if anybody is interested, again, check it out, website, nextstepalgo.com. We are fully integrating NEO, our AI, into pretty much everything we do, right? From learning, trading, we have some really cool stuff. We're working on NEO watch list where he's gonna actually pull data. We're working on, I don't want to share it, but there's a possible way we found that we can get people to have NEO trade prop firm stuff, which again, the disclaimers that will have to come with that is going to be pretty heavy because although he can do it and the workaround should be pretty good, right, to keep you safe on that. Prop firms do not like that. It's against their rules, right? So you could get caught in that. But that isn't stopping everybody from doing it still. And so I think I have an idea, which I'll share when I'm ready on it. But a lot of cool things coming out. So if you guys want to, be a part of it, just register. nextstepalgo.com. If you're new, if you're interested in learning how to trade, there's no better place to be. So I will argue that with anybody. When you come to the site, I put a TikTok out, and just to let you guys know, when you go to the mentorship program, we have 3 spots left. So I do mentoring. I would love to speak with anybody who's interested in doing it. I don't charge anybody to get on a call to just talk to you about it. I want to make sure that I explain the program and that it's right for you. So if you're looking for any kind of mentoring, or whether it's me teaching you some things that I do within my trading, or even just kind of teaching you how to maximize stuff with NEO, or any tools that you can do. So those that are in the mentor program all know that we have a private group chat that we talk in. We trade quite often, sometimes in Asia. We do every time the pre-market in the morning. And pretty much most all tools within the website, if I can give it to you to make you successful, I'm going to do that, right? So there's a lot of little extra perks that come with it that I don't put on the site, which I share with people as I talk to you, right? Once this gets to 50, guys, there is a few that are approved. We've already talked, but they just needed time, right? So they haven't really followed through with it. And so as we get to this to 50, I'll have to check in with them, and they got to make a decision. So there'll be a few spots left open after that. But once this gets locked down and we're 50 at 50, it's a waiting list. So I don't want to do more than 50 because it'll dilute it. Anybody in my mentor program all has my personal cell phone number. I make it very personal, guys. We're gonna take it as far as we need to go to get you guys to understand the market and find some consistency in your trades. So if you're interested, check it out. Again, nextstepalgo.com, guys. A lot of amazing things that we got going on. So, and we're not even close to being done. So, any final questions, guys? Otherwise, we'll call it a day. Please don't overtrade it. Yeah, most of you guys, I from what I've seen, are green, so you're good for the day. So don't push it. Let me know if you need anything. Reach out. You guys can all email me directly as well. My email's nick@nextstepalgo.com. So, all right, guys. TikTok. I'm gonna drop off. Go get some food. I might go live again a little bit later. A lot of times I try to do it between maybe 3 and 5. Right, kind of capture that end of day market. We watch it and answer questions, things like that. So if you guys want to check it out. I don't have a lot going on in the evening, so I may even go live in the evening later. So just keep an eye out for that and give me a follow. Other than that, appreciate you guys joining. I'm going to drop off the socials. Let me get off of